Coming to you, Jack. In five, four, three, two, one.
Starliner, Starliner, Starliner. Oh yeah, and some things happen in Starbase. Roll the intro.
And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Traveling up. Roger and roll, Atlantis.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Fighting downside SC off. Bring in SC off. It's orange!
R25! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Décollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
This methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You read? We don't need any more of these.
Welcome to this week's Flame Trench, NSF's informal news show. If you want the formal news, you should watch Twist, which came out a little bit earlier today. If you want to hear us get a little bit spicy about the week's news, then you're in the right place. And that is, of course, the Flame Trench. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF, and luckily, you don't have to just look or listen to me. I'm also joined, as always, by our ever-competent cohort of co-hosts, starting off with the good Reverend EJ. EJ, how you doing, bud? Oh yeah, fold it out. Fold it out.
Hey, sorry. Hey, how you doing? Nothing. Hey,
What's up?
nothing, man. What's up with you? Just
How much? What you reading
about,
this week?
the fundamentals of aerodynamics.
Nice.
That's all I was reading.
Nice. I'll never forget when I was a kid. I was probably in like 7th grade, and was really interested in flight. And so I asked my math teacher, I was like, how does lift work? Like, what's the formula for lift? And they showed it to me, and I was like, I'm out. But good deal.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on this week, EJ, as always. And we're also joined by Sawyer on camera. Once again, the return of Sawyer Cam. What's up, buddy?
How's it going? It's going pretty
back.
good here. Yeah, it's a little bit different than we're used to seeing. I am still flat, hence my weird curved angle here. But it's good to be back. And
It's
I
good to have you.
apologize to everyone that I'm back on camera.
Oh, stop. That means we might get a Jake
Hey, for
sighting.
radio.
Not at all.
It means we might get a Jake sighting, which is, of course, a good thing. But yeah, there's a lot going on this week. We have, of course, Starliner to talk about. We'll get to that in a little bit. It should be undocking, like, sometime during the Flame Trench. So that'll be interesting. But in the meantime, we have some other topics to cover. And I want to, as always, remind everybody in chat, if you have any questions, just type at NASASpaceflight in chat, and we'll see your questions pop up in some fancy software we have running in the background. If Kevin would link the panel to the stream, which I don't think he has yet, I'm just going to throw him right under the bus on air because it's the Flame Trench.
That's all good.
Yeah,
Why not?
let's jump right into it and talk about the breaking news that we got this week in regards to New Glenn's first launch and escapade. Sawyer, what is going on with that?
Well, it's not going. That's actually the new news that just came out a couple hours ago. The Escapade mission, 2 satellites that were about to head on their way to Mars as the first payloads to fly on New Glenn. NASA has said they are not fueling them and that they will not launch on the first flight of New Glenn. They're going to try again, hopefully in spring of 2025. So then that brings up the question as well of, okay, if that slips, then what goes on with the first flight? Well, turns out they're just gonna, as of now at least, do a little shift. So what they were originally planning for the second flight is now going to fly on the first flight. That one, I believe, was the Blue Ring technology that they've talked about. which is part of the national security space launch certification that they need to go through. So that's now first up. And on top of that, speaking of up, they are moving the launch up from the originally planned December for that second flight now to November. So very interesting that they're moving that up and moving the other one back. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say not a single one of us are shocked that it didn't actually make it to the launch window.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit disappointed. I'm not super shocked, but so Rocket Lab built the two Escapade satellites. Like, what's the appropriate term? Probes. Um, Rocket Lab built them, but of course they don't have a rocket that can lift them yet. I do wonder if they keep getting delayed from a New Glenn standpoint. Like, is there a timeline where Neutron comes online and they end up launching on Neutron? Probably not, but it's interesting that Rocket Lab built these satellites and is like they're ready to go, but New Glenn isn't. But hey, rockets are hard.
That is true, yeah. Um, and also the fun of orbital windows where you basically only get 2 shots at it, in this case, I guess, with spring
Right,
as well, but normally it's only 1 shot at it.
right, yeah. EJ,
And
what's your take? Let me get a vibe check. I know we're all super excited for New Glenn's first launch. We're all super excited for more heavy lift rockets to come online. And it's a first launch. It's little kinks are, I guess, to be expected. But what's EJ's take?
Blue has been basically since Jeff Bezos stepped down at Amazon. I mean, we know from Tim's videos that he's like full time on Blue, and then he brought Dave Limp in there as the CEO of the company after the other. We don't talk about the other guy, but
Yeah, right.
ever since then they've been living up to what their company slogan is: step by step, ferociously. But I mean, even then, that was relatively recent in Blue Origin's history, right?
Right.
So, I mean, they have been making crazy strides. Like we've been seeing all this great footage, from Dave Limp being posted on X and stuff, right?
Yep.
But it seems like and it definitely seems like they were scaling to Escapade, like they were trying to do as much parallel development as possible. I've talked about this many times. Like they have it's not just one New Glenn that they're working on right now, and then we're working on the next one. No, they have the second, third, fourth, fifth. All the hardware is getting made to put this all together. But it looks like even with parallel development, that it's not going to be enough, and not going to be enough to get it done before the launch window. But see, here's the thing: like the launch window is nominal. It opens on the 14th of October. And NASA moving it to spring of 2025 is not that big of a deal. If it's going to give them more time to get an NSSL certification, which pretty good, that'd be good, and B, not really rush to make sure that this is working. Oh my gosh, I'm moving around. Not really rush to make sure that this thing is working. I mean, New Glenn's first stage, GS1, is really, really designed for, it's very much designed for reuse. It is very much designed to be something that you put together and you don't really take apart again, from what I can tell. So it's long story short, it's better not to rush. New Glenn is a gigantic freaking rocket.
It's huge.
It's 7 meter diameter. 70 tall? 7 meter diameter, 70 meters tall. It's gigantic. It's absolutely just a monumental piece of equipment. And because the Escapade satellites are so ridiculously small compared, for the payload capacity, right? You have a wide margin on your transfer window to Mars. So actually, honestly, me and the decisions that NASA is making haven't been really eye to eye lately. Not that my opinion matters or anything. You'll hear more about that.
Oh yeah, you will.
You'll hear. Anyway, you'll hear more about that a little bit later. But I actually agree with him on this one. This is the right call. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. You're in the home stretch. Don't wait till you're sure to shoot your shot. You know what I mean? You have time in the transfer window. It's fine.
Yeah.
No big deal.
And to your point, and to John's point in chat, they say it was NASA that pushed the flight, not Blue. So let's not blame New Glenn for that. Good call, John.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but what? Okay, so that's absolutely right. But I'm failing to understand why NASA would do that if it wasn't New Glenn being ready. Like, if
Right.
New Glenn was ready, why would they push the flight, guys?
Yeah.
Honest question. Like, I shouldn't have presumed, but I presumed that they delayed it because New Glenn is not ready to go. It's close. 1.5 months is not 1.5 months, 2 months, not a big deal, right? Not
And
engine
to your point,
decimator. But anyway, yeah.
To your point, it does feel like there has been a sea change at Blue, and it's
Oh,
hard
yeah,
to
absolutely.
like from the outside as just a commentator get a true read on what's going on. I don't have like any little birdies or anything like that, but it just from the outside looking in, it certainly feels exactly like you said, EG, that they're ramping. They were ramping up to Escapade. They're definitely like doing a PR push with the Tim tours, which I need to watch part 2 of that really bad.
Dude, part 2 is so baller, man.
Oh god, I gotta watch it. The first
so
part
good.
was so good. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check out part 2. I just haven't had time to watch it yet with all the chaos this week. But
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's awesome. You should watch it, and so
then
should you, chat.
My third, you
Not
should
right
all
now,
watch
though.
it. Tim rules. End of the show.
Not right now, though. Maybe
not
later.
right now. Later. Like there's a little watch later button. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I wonder what is the launch with the greatest discrepancy between payload mass and payload capability. Like I immediately think of DART on Falcon 9. I think that's the right payload, where it's like really 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 small, but they're launching it on a full size rocket. It's kind of the same vibe with Escapade and New Glenn. I wonder if New Glenn has whatever. What's the proportion? Which rocket launched the tiniest payload relative to the rocket size? If that makes any sense, somebody do the math and let me know.
I can think of 2 that were really, really low payload mass to vehicle mass. IXPS, the SpaceX mission, where they did a 27-degree inclination change with a Falcon 9 in low Earth orbit. That's a small satellite.
Yeah, XP was really small. I think that was a Vandy launch, if I'm not mistaken. And Max in our back channel is saying Parker Solar Probe with Delta IV Heavy.
Yeah, that's another. That's another good one.
Ryan with the
and then
Falcon Heavy demo flight.
That's the second one that I was going to say. The car.
Yeah, that time Tesla was launched into a Martian transfer orbit. No big deal.
Launched to cars. Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
One of the greatest moments in all of spaceflight.
So good, dude.
Good deal. Let's do some questions. How about, unless Sawyer, you had any further thoughts about Escapade in general? There's more Blue Origin stuff, but we do have a couple little Escapade guys here.
Yeah, I guess let's see what other Escapade questions we've got, and hopefully my audio is a little bit better now. Fingers crossed.
I'll keep an eye on chat and see what they say. Adrian, EJ, you kind of touched on this, but it's worth hammering home. Adrian is asking, I thought that Escapade had to launch in October 2024 to take advantage of the Earth-Mars launch window, and the next window is in 2026. And so is that just down to because the payload mass is so tiny, they have a larger time frame?
Yeah. Your transfer window total delta V required for Trans-Martian injection is going to... The window opens on the 14th. So it's going to get better and better and better and better, and then it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And then by the time you get to probably spring of 2025, it's going to get to the point where Mars and Earth are going to be out of phase. And the delta V requirements, like, after you're going to get a little bit of fall off, and then it goes off of a cliff. It goes from needing like 7 kilometers a second. I'm making up numbers. From like 7 kilometers a second to like 70 kilometers a second.
Right.
Yeah, guys, the reason why is because, Mars is in a higher orbit. So a Martian day, a sol, is a little bit longer than Earth's because it's in a higher orbit. And because of that differential orbital speed and differential period, Mars and Earth only kind of... The plain Jane way of saying it is they get near each other every 26 months. That's not exactly true. That's not exactly how orbital mechanics works.
It's not about Mars and Earth actually being close to each other. It's about where they will be 6 months after launch, or whatever the transit time is, and the phasing of it's orbital mechanics. It's called rocket science for a reason. But
you basically gotta aim for you got to aim for when you get to Mars, like when you cross Mars's grav well.
Right.
That Earth and Mars are the closest when you cross Mars's path.
Right.
That's the short
What's
story.
what's the Gretzky quote? I'm so not a sports person, but there's a famous Wayne
You
Gretzky
miss
quote that's
100%
like,
of the shots you don't take.
no, it's skate to
Michael
where
Scott said that.
skate to where the puck is going to be, not where the puck is, or something like that. You have to shoot to where
Yeah.
Mars is going to be, not where Mars is. I don't know.
Mhm.
We'll workshop it.
And if you play Kerbal, you know that you can get to Duna at any point in time. It may just cost you a little more. There are certain times where it's a heck of a lot easier and cheaper to fly out to Duna. In this case, it's similar equivalent with Mars.
My God.
Yeah, I that's one of my favorite things that I have gotten from Kerbal Space Program, aside from thousands of hours of entertainment, literally, is just a better understanding of orbital mechanics. I mean, obviously, it's a video game; it's not actual orbital mechanics. There's all sorts of physics and stuff that's not included in the game, but just to sort of wrap your head around, like, oh, I need to, go slower to rendezvous. I don't actually need to go faster, or things like aiming for a transfer window and stuff like that. It's really good. If you've never played Kerbal Space Program and you have any kind of interest, I don't know, maybe watch EJ's Twitch and
Dude,
when he plays Kerbal.
oh,
It's probably a
thanks,
good
man.
educational pursuit, if not playing Kerbal by yourself.
50 Membies right there. 50 Membies.
Whoa. And not just that. Not only gifting 50 memories, but also becoming a flight engineer. Top of the top.
All right, let's
salute you.
let's hit some support before we move on, because Ali Demirci is one of those names we've seen pop up so many times. Ali, 50 Red Team memberships. I can see chat just blowing up right now with green names. Thank you so much. That is so extremely generous of you. I don't even know what to say.
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Yay!
Amazing.
Yeah, we need to get that GIF on standby.
Wow.
Wow. But seriously, thank you, Ali. It means a lot to us. It helps us, and it's such a nice thing to do for everybody in chat. If you got to get the membership, be sure to thank whoever gifted it to you. And also, thank you for becoming a flight engineer. You get your name at the end of the flame trench, plus all of the other sweet perks. And if you're not in Discord already, hop into Discord and say hey, because we do a pre-show and a post-show for the flame trench, among many other cool things about the member
Wait a
Discord.
minute.
What?
Another 50 just came through. Real.
You're very good, you.
Can I go
Yo.
back to not being on camera like before so I can hide my shock
very
faces?
good.
Yeah, what the heck?
You're very good, you.
What
you.
the actual heck? Was that
right on
Ali
the
again?
money.
It was.
Yes,
Ali.
it was.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm
Yo.
not butchering your last name. If I am,
Yo.
please tell me how to pronounce it correctly. But seriously, it's 100 memberships. That's
You got a gift, my
bonkers.
friend. You got a gift. You. That's why you are who you are. You got a gift. You.
So if
The
you
guy.
just became a member, be sure to check out like the community tab on YouTube and check out all the member content there. If you like it, maybe after your gifted membership expires, you feel like signing up for
Oh God!
another
He did
one.
it again.
Another,
He did it again.
Ali, do you want show or
Another
not?
one.
Do you want show
Another
or do you
one.
just want us to talk about the gifted memberships all show? Because we can do that. If you want that, we can do that. We'll just skip Starliner. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. Like, it's so much money. I can't get people to spend 99 cents on an app, like, to save the data on their phone.
And
Precious
there's
photos
another 50.
on their phone, and there are no words.
If only Starliner ran off of gifted memberships, it would be fine.
Well, I think at this point we'd be melting the Teflon seals of the YouTube algorithm. I don't know. I tried.
I think this has to become the Ali show.
It's not the Ali G show though, right? It's just the Ali
No.
show.
The
Booyakasha.
Ali show.
Ali, once again, thank you so much. Telstar86, thanks for the super chat. They say Kerbal builds are more successful than Starliner. Yikes.
mean-
Space Pope, thanks for gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Space Pope. RC Horseman,
Gift that.
thank you so much for the 10 Red Team membership gifts. It's like it doesn't have to be a monetary thing. It doesn't have to be a thing where you come here and you feel bad for not supporting us monetarily, because people like RC Horseman, people like Ali are coming out in force and supporting what we do. If you're just watching the show, we appreciate you just the same. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the like button. Like, everybody out there, I know sometimes people in chat will say like, oh, I want to support, but I can't. Don't feel bad. It's a giant community-funded machine that we run here, and
Yeah, you
everyone
did it
does
again.
their part.
There was 100 bones in
Patrol?
there. There was 100 bones in there. There was 100 bones. Oh,
Patrol?
wow.
Patrol just gifted $100, or not gift, but super chatted $100 and said, "All hail Ali." I think we can all agree. Chat,
This
can we
stream
get
is
some?
now out of control.
I mean, I was like ready to like hit a couple super chats and then we'll move on to the next topic. But there's like you guys are going crazy today. What is there something in the water today? Like what's going on?
I don't know. It's like we've already activated stage 2 here of New Glenn and 50 more.
And then
What?
Ninja with another. What the dude?
Ninja Decimator with
How?
5. Ali
Panic.
with 50
Who?
more.
Panic.
Hang on,
Ninja
who with
Decimator.
Panic. What do we do? What
I
do
don't
we
know.
do?
I don't know. Like I want to get through. Like it's always such a hard balance to like thank people appropriately for their extreme generosity, but also like do the show.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Jack.
don't know what to do. Ali, thank you. Steve, thank you. Steve Ailing, thank you for the super chat.
Cards
Hellstar
are real
86,
good.
thank you. I can't even
I was
click
on
these fast
Spaceship.
enough. All right, let's.
I was trying to make a segue there, but Allie's gifting another 50 again, so I don't know what to do.
How many was it? Is that 200?
300. So we shall
right.
continue.
All right.
Yeah, it's like you've already ignited the second stage, which
we
Blue
will
Origin
come back.
is about to do.
Go on.
Yeah.
Yes. So even though they may not be launching in October as we expected with Escapade, they are still pushing ahead with their ground testing. And next up is the second stage. They actually have a little test stand for it out there at Pad 36. So it's designed specifically for just second stage testing. We've seen it before on the KSE flyovers, and now it'll actually get used. So hopefully those will be fired up in quote unquote a few days. There's a potential for very early next week. Keep an eye out for that. So exciting times as we get that much closer to a full stack, and hopefully then after that, the static fire, New Glenn.
Yep. That's going to be amazing. And make sure you stay tuned to Space Coast Live, because if we can get any kind of good views of this test and the upcoming tests, you better believe it'll be on Space Coast Live. Wow. Also,
Hey,
we had the arrival of Jacqueline to the port of Canaveral, right? That's
there's a whole new meaning to your mom jokes.
I
mean,
so
you can land a rocket on Jeff Bezos' mom? Question mark.
so
I say that because Jacqueline is named after Jeff Bezos' mom, and that is the landing vessel that arrived at Port Canaveral.
right. There was a previous landing vessel that Blue Origin had that was named Jacqueline, and it actually was brought here to the port of Brownsville and scrapped. And we were all like, "Oh no, they're scrapping the ship named after Jeff's mom. That's unfortunate." But guess what? There's a new one. I sort of feel like it should be called Jacqueline 2, or like maybe like Jacqueline TOO, or like Jacqueline also.
How about Jacqueline 2?
Electric
Landing
Boogaloo?
Barge Boogaloo.
Yes.
I'm here
Okay.
for it.
Also, that there's another patrol just went off again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just thought I'd let you know.
And Allie is
Unbelievable.
continuing to I can't. Let's do show.
Can't keep
There are
up.
people.
Yeah.
People are supporting us because we're doing show.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
What is that? What does that hurt do? Someone's math.
What was that? That's a lot of zeros.
I don't even know what that is or means.
Hang
All right,
on.
somebody.
We should have conversion.
Anyway, while you convert on screen, you can see Gav Cornwall, our very own fleet master here at NSF, did a really nifty labeling of the Jacqueline landing vessel and sort of illustrated. You can see the tweet there. Everything that we can discern from that single image. Gav is amazing. Anytime there's any kind of vessel tracking that needs to be done, he's always on top of it. So many photographers depend on the information that he's able to glean. So if you're not following Gav and you want sweet information like this, like, oh, what's that weird lump on the side of the barge right there? Oh, it's the large forward radome. That's really nifty. So make sure you're following Gav on Twitter. And
the question is, what's that 3-story structure in the back? It looks like living quarters or something.
Right, it's very boxy. And
yeah,
do we know?
In my house.
Do we know?
Did it again.
When New Glenn lands on Jacqueline, are they going to bring it back into port with New Glenn vertical, or are they planning to have like a breakover fixture of some kind and then lay it horizontal and then bring it into port that way? Because I know with the previous Jacqueline, that was sort of the plan, is they were going to horizontalate, to use a technical term, the rocket before sailing. So I wonder if the reason for those large boxy structures in part is like to house a crane or to house a breakover fixture or something along those lines. I have no idea. I'm just spitballing here.
I mean, the breakover fixture's in the picture, and it's on land, so I
That's
ruled
right.
that one out. But there definitely is like a high bay on that thing for something. I don't know if it's like Nuglin's Octograbber or something, but yeah, there's clearly some type of support equipment on there.
Someone in our back channel named Das, whoever that is, says it's an Amazon warehouse. Duh.
Well,
I
here's
love
the
it.
thing, though. If they don't get it back to port next day, can you file a complaint because no next day shipping?
Wow. Yeah. Does
Really,
the
that
barge
one gets just an O groan? Come on.
does the barge count as like a Prime member? I don't know. They might have to spend more money to get the barge on Prime and get the next day rocket delivery. It's tricky.
Speaking
But I
of
would imagine that
memberships,
has to be captured vertical at that point. I mean, yeah, it's wider, but it's not like there's any real spot for it once it goes horizontal. This kind of just looks like, all right, almost a. It was interesting because we had some great pictures. Some of our team flew over, and I believe they're member photos of it. But
Yes.
to see the comparison of uh, the shortfall of gravitas and Jacqueline next to each other at the port is quite a sight.
Yeah, and I am a big dumb idiot. The breakover fixture is on land. We've seen it in action, so that's not how that's going to work. Chat is going ham, and I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, Allie's gifting more.
Yeah, man, Matt's, what is that? I can't even see the name. Matt's Gosalar?
Yeah. Also
with
gifting
another
50. Y'all, we're going to keep doing show. We will make sure we thank everybody. Y'all are going crazy today. We're going to keep the show on track, but off the rails. But we'll be sure to thank everyone profusely.
You guys are undocking this show, just like Starliner will shortly.
Wow. Also, yeah, we need to do an update on where we're at with that, because we do have a couple questions already in regards to that, like, will there be live footage of Starliner undocking? I do believe we're getting some feeds from NASA, so hopefully, there you go. So hopefully we'll be able to see it happen as it actually happens. Thank goodness for that.
Everything you see happening on the screen now is happening now.
Now. That's live, baby.
Well, you missed it.
What will then be now?
Soon.
Cool. Anything else with Blue? We did the second stage. We did Jacqueline 2 Electric Boogaloo. We did Escapade. Anything else in Blue Land? Or shall we move on?
I mean, that's the main thing of what's going on, and we are absolutely going to be keeping a close eye on it. And as mentioned earlier, keep an eye out on Space Coast Live. We try and keep a camera looking at LC-36.
Indeed. Holy cow, y'all.
Yeah, 2Cat. Almost forgot about getting a great satellite view that Harry got of 2Cat, which you may recall had a bit of an explosion recently, blew the door off, and now we're getting to see what it looks like from above. You can actually see the panels laying on the ground, which is kind of crazy.
We have so many amazing contributors. Like, we have Gav covering the fleet. We have Harry looking at everything from space. Like, the fact that we're able to just cover everything we can, every way that we can, is so amazing. I'm so thankful for it. And the only reason we can do that is because of y'all's support. So, thank you. And Harry is just on it. Like, you almost never have to actually ask him. He's always got his eyes in the sky.
Did you guys see that last tip message there? I'm kind of okay with this. Snotgarden said we should launch Sawyer into space. I agree.
Let's do it.
You get no argument from me.
Let's do it.
I'm very down to that. Well, very up, I guess it would be.
I mean, you'd be microgravity. I don't know. Moving on.
Never mind.
I
changed my mind.
I've experienced microgravity, okay?
We know. Sawyer flex.
Why don't you just flex even more?
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
Oh, you know I can. But we'd be even more off the rails, so let's continue.
Yeah, Kal-El, thanks for gifting a Red Team membership. Or no, becoming a Red Team member. Matthias, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Phil, thank you for the support. They say, will Starliner land without issues? We'll get there. We will get there. Sawyer, you're getting a bunch of hearts from Roseanne DeVasto. Thank you, Roseanne, for the super chat. Space Pope with a $10 super. They say, Sawyer, sorry if the Strongback got lost in the mail. Maybe Blue Origin Breakover Fixture will make it and help you out. That's hilarious.
I love that.
Pat Lankslas UK, thanks for upgrading the Red Team. Ground umbilical carrier plate, thank you for the super chat. They say, how does a launch window stay open till the spring? Won't it get cold over the winter? Wow.
It's Florida, so you're fine.
Yeah, you're good. But EJ laughed. That made EJ leave. That's amazing.
That one made EJ leave of all of the ones so far in the first 30 minutes.
It's like a build-up. It's like a build-up. You know, it's like you're taking a little bit of poison. You're taking a little bit of poison. You're okay. You're like building up an immunity, and then you overdo it, and you're like, oh god, I gotta go. Like, you know, you can only stand so many puns.
Also, EJ, the only shorts on this channel are the ones that I edit. We didn't need to see your shorts.
What's wrong with my shorts?
Are you a shorts man? I always took you for a pants man.
It's summertime still, technically.
Right.
I wear jeans pretty much whenever I'm working in the shop, so...
Yeah, makes sense. Ninja Decimator. Pew, pew, pew.
Kevin? This chat.
Kevin.
There's no brakes on this train, man.
There's no brakes. There's no rails either. Thank you, Ninja Decimator, for gifting 5 memberships. Chuck gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Telstar gifting a Red Team membership. All right, let's do the next... There we go.
Yes.
All right, let's do... Are you guys... Are you ready to get spicy? It's the flame trench after all.
Spicy.
Are you ready to get a little bit spicy here? EJ, what's going on with Artemis hardware at the Cape?
Come on, Beck, tell us all about it.
Why you do? Okay.
You did you dirty.
Okay, we have engine sections and boat tails. Boat tail. There's not 2 of them. Being delivered for Artemis 3 arrived at the Cape. They're heading over to the former space station processing facility to start getting put together. For Artemis 3 and on, the main propulsion section of SLS is actually going to be assembled in the space station processing facility at Kennedy Space Center. So you see these parts get shipped bare bones. Basically to the Cape, and they're going to put it together in the SSPF. Now, why? Why are they doing that? Well, the MPS from... I'm not going to say I got this from people that actually work on the thing, but I work on the thing. The MPS is basically a cylindric shuttle section. It is a complicated piece of equipment, and it requires clean room conditions to make. So the SSPF, which is the space station processing facility, which was designed to... process space station payloads. Allow myself to introduce myself. No, it's a clean room environment to make sure that the payloads are checked out before they were put in the shuttle and sent up to the space station, right? So it's actually a gigantic building that's next to the operations and checkout building where Orion is being made. And they're using that to assemble the engine sections now. And then when the MPS is completely assembled, they're going to move it to the VAB and use High Bay 2. Sorry, getting that wrong would piss off the VABers, right? We don't want to do that.
Yeah, and definitely don't say VAB either. That also makes them mad.
Yeah, conky. Yep. Sorry.
I like conky. I invented conky. You can't use conky to antagonize me. You use
I will.
For that.
Oh, I will, and I'm gonna. Anyway,
go on.
So they're going to assemble the rest of the tanks and everything will be made at Michoud, and once they're ready to go and put together, they'll ship it to the Cape without an engine section on it, and they'll mate the MPS to the tankage, the hydrogen tank, inner tank, LOX tank, forward skirt inside of High Bay 2. So yeah, we do got some components for SLS and Artemis 3 being moved to the Cape. Now, I said that the space station processing facility is close to the operations and checkout building. That the O&C is basically where the astronauts walk out of those doors and, they wave hi to everybody, right? But the O&C is also where the Orion spacecraft is built. and it's mated with the European Service Module. Which brings me, the European Service Module isn't made there. It's made in Europe. No, it's made in Bremen, Germany, if I'm remembering correctly, by Airbus, if I'm recalling right. And
didn't Adrian go and see it? I feel like Adrian went and I actually saw it in the factory like maybe about a year ago. But anyways, please continue.
Yeah, I think Issa invited him.
Yep. So it's made overseas in Europe, and they ship it here, and they ship it on Canopy. Canopy is a vessel that Arianespace is using to move, the ESA and Arianespace is using to move Ariane 6 cores around, but in the downtime, it's being used to move the European Service Module, ESM-3, the third one in line. First one is non-existent anymore because it already flew. Second one is mated to Orion for Artemis 2, and then the third one got shipped to the Cape in Canopy. It's kind of interesting because Canopy is a roll-on, roll-off ship, but it actually has sails. It has four sails on it. It's actually a sailboat to offset carbon emissions.
Which is really nifty.
Wings.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
There's a bunch of different companies and startups trying to develop like containerized sails so that you can put them on a container ship, basically plug and play, and then the sail will extend from the containers. And this is an Adrian picture here from that very event we were talking about. Nice. It's safe to say, Issa, good idea to invite Adrian to see your hardware.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it.
But yeah, it's one of the largest polluters are container ships or ships and shipping in general. Like they tend to use really icky fuel like bunker fuel oil and stuff like that. So to be able to offset the burning of all of those fossil fuels with sails is pretty nifty. I like Canopy.
Yeah,
Is it Canopy or Canopy?
I have no idea. Let's go with Canopy.
Typically, with an excellent aigu like that, it would be a Canopy.
Yeah,
Canopy.
Canopy.
Cool.
European Service Modules. Yep.
So that's what's going on with the hardware that just arrived.
Oh dear.
But,
do I have to talk about this? I'm gonna get all mad. I don't want to get all mad. There's all those people that are so supportive in the chat. I don't want to get pissed off.
I can get mad.
All right, then let me flex first. How about that? I've been on the floor of the SSPF and the ONC, so I've seen where all those are being built. You got Adrian, who can flex now with seeing the Artemis 2 crew at the event in Germany.
Nice.
Now we got happy stuff. So, EJ, go ahead and ruin it.
If you don't want to be mad, I can start being mad, and you can feed off my mad energy. But I will start this entire segment by saying the opinions reflected by our commentators are not necessarily the opinions reflective of NSF. Allegedly, etc. Whatever legalese you want to throw out there. But yeah, Bechtel is the contractor for Mobile Launcher 2, and Mobile Launcher 2 is once again gone way over budget.
Dude, way over budget is an understatement here. And okay, all right, I'm going to do it. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, a little bit of a breakdown of the timeline of events here.
Yeah,
the
please.
Contract...
This really this drives home how insane this situation is. The going through the timeline. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's get spicy.
And I want to first precurse this with I like SLS. I think Artemis is decent enough architecture to get it done. It's better than nothing. I get it. There could be commercial alternatives in the future, but we don't have commercial alternatives right now. So it's probably better to pursue it, because if you pulled the plug on it, you would have nothing for a long time. We saw how well that turned out when we canceled Constellation.
Right.
All right. With that all being said, SLS has the version right now that's flying, which is a Block 1 variant. It has a upper stage. So you have your 5-segment SRBs. You have your core stage with four, I was about to say shuttle engines, RS-25 motors. Sorry, you're not going to shake it. It's 30 years of shuttle motors, all right? It's just shuttle motor, right? Same difference, right? It's not. Like, the RS-25Es are completely different. They use a completely different manufacturing process. If people really want to know, you should talk to Phil Sloss about this stuff, guys. He knows,
we should get him on the Flame Trend someday. Also, really quickly, just a quick note. I think we're about 15 minutes or so from Starliner undocking. So let's be angry very briefly, and then let's get excited to see Starliner undock. Let's go. Let's do this.
Okay. Okay, so what's
And go.
going on here is that SLS Block 1B is a different variant that's going to require a different mobile launcher. Because the current versions of SLS have an ICPS derived Delta 4 upper stage, right? It's not really enough to do anything but shoot an Orion capsule out to the moon, which is okay, that's fine. It's good enough if you're just going to go to a gateway and then maybe have another lander, right?
Right.
But SLS is slated after Artemis 3, so Artemis 4 and on, to have a much bigger upper stage. It's going to be in the 1B variant. It has an upper stage, which is an 8.4 meter core upper stage with 4 RL-10 derived engines in it. I'm not sure what its actual version is. It is, but whatever. It's a much bigger upper stage, 8.4 meters in diameter, that SLS is supposed to carry. On top of that, you're going to have a payload fairing with an Orion on top, right? The payload fairing, quote unquote, is called the Universal Stage Adapter that enables SLS to be able to move cargo and Orion out to the moon, which is objectively way more useful than what we have right now.
Right.
So, with that being said, because of that different types of architecture and because Mobile Launcher 1 was originally an Ares 1 it was an Ares 1 mobile launcher, and it was retooled to be built for a much heavier vehicle. It's actually bendy and saggy. It's like noodly like spaghetti, right? Don't break the spaghetti. All right, so it requires a new mobile launcher to be made. So in 2019, NASA, realizing this, not realizing it, they knew that it was going to need a new one, right? They sent out a contract for ML2, Mobile Launcher 2, right, in 2019. It's a $383 million cost plus contract.
5 years ago, $383 million. Continue.
Yes. So they handed that out, a cost plus contract, $383 million cost plus with a delivery date in 2023, in late 2023, to be ready for Artemis 4, which would be maybe 2025. All right. That was the original stipulation. I would like to point out that they did have a schedule, and dates for cost plus contracts are good. However, they had no schedule milestones, which is a huge red flag in contract awarding structure and allows contracts to basically have no accountability and allows costs to spiral like crazy.
It's almost like an incentive for the company to continue, like to slow walk things, or to there's, if you don't know out there, there's fixed price and there's cost plus. Fixed price contract means you get X amount of dollars. That's all you get. If you overrun the contract, it's coming out of your pocket. Cost plus is exactly the opposite. It's if it's going to end up costing more money, it's the government's on the hook for it. It's not great. Continue.
So I can build off that. There's a little more to it than that, Jack, but we could talk about that later. I'm trying to go fast here. So sorry if this information is coming at you real quick. I apologize. But so COVID happens. Obviously, you're going to get some cost overruns, supply issues. We all heard it. We all know it's absolutely a real thing. So the cost balloons to $662 million.
Okay, so cost is doubled, roughly.
Doubled. And nothing, that was in May of 2021.
Okay.
And then in August of 2021, just a little bit later, it went to 954 million. Yeah. And then in July of 2022, NASA went back to the contractor and said, hey, how much do you think this is going to cost now? And they said, 1.2 billion. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like building launch structures and launch infrastructure isn't $1 billion thing. It absolutely is. Now, anybody that thinks anything differently doesn't understand how this stuff works. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's commercial, if it's public, if it's private. Building a launch mechanism for a super heavy launch vehicle is always going to be expensive. Anybody here that's going to sit here and think that the chopsticks at Boca Chica and the OLM was not a multi-billion-dollar adventure, into Elon's wallet is off their freaking rocker. Okay. Now, with that being said, NASA projected this cost at $383 million in 2019, and it ballooned to $1.2 billion as of now. The NASA Office of Investigator General projects that by the time this thing is totally delivered, it's going to balloon over $2 billion. Now, that is entirely unacceptable. All right. I'm not the smartest guy around here, but look, man, if you're going to say 383 cost plus, emphasis on plus. The heck's that about?
Right.
Look, once again, I get that these things cost a lot of money. But you don't throw out a $383 million contract when you know good and well that this is going to cost over $1 billion.
Right.
Right. And not to mention, and this is a big red flag to me, like I said, at the beginning, it's a big red flag. you have a schedule to keep at to deliver it by December of 2023, right? And by December of 2023, cost had ballooned to 1.2 billion, and we have a couple of I-beams stacked next to the VAB, right?
Right.
That's it. You're supposed to deliver this, and you barely have the launch platform made, let alone the launch umbilical tower and anything else. I don't know what's going on here. I'd have to read the full OIG report. I got good ways through it. But honestly, this is ridiculous. Like, if the thing, I don't know if they put through this cost plus contract because they knew it was going to cost $1 billion and they put it through this way to like, no, it's only 400 million, right? I don't know if they did that way or not, but either way, we're looking at some serious disconnect between what the contractor and NASA thinks this costs and what it actually costs. I don't know if that's on purpose. I don't know if that's incorrect or what. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but the more, guys, I'm telling you, the more you read that OIG report, the more you're just going to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that, like, at first I was like, this, okay, 383 billion, 1.2 billion, right? Okay, obviously the contractor's squeezing NASA. Obviously that's what's going on, right? But also at the same time, you know good and well that these things are expensive to do. It's an expensive endeavor building launch vehicles for super heavy. I don't think it's a $1.2 billion. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, like I said, the chopsticks is easily over. The chopsticks in the tower, catch tower, Boca Chica, that's easily over $1 billion.
Yeah,
no problem.
I forget where we saw the figure, or if it was like a
It's
TED
gotta be,
interview
dude.
or what. But there's something along the lines of SpaceX spends around $1 billion a year on Starbase at their current level.
There's no way that it's not, right? So either one of two things is really coming to mind here. Like, either the contractor is squeezing NASA, or NASA doesn't know how much this thing is going to cost, which is why they awarded a cost plus contract in the first place.
Right.
Which, Jack, I'll be 100% real with you. I don't even mind. I don't even mind a cost plus contract. But the real glaring red flag here to me isn't necessarily the price, believe it or not, because I could have told you that this thing was going to be $1 billion. Mobile launchers are complicated.
Yeah,
let alone a mobile launcher that's designed to launch a human-rated vehicle. That's complicated stuff.
Right. It seems like there's been some, dare I say, allegedly some mismanagement. Like, they didn't retain a steel fabricator. What was the whole deal? Like, there's so many little things to where this contractor has been involved in a lot of interesting situations, shall we say, over the years, with a variety of different things. It's not just the space program. They're very
no doubt.
They've been involved in the Hanford nuclear site. They were involved in a bunch of Iraq war contracting. They've been involved in a whole bunch of...
Here's a kicker for you.
Go ahead.
They were involved in the Big Dig in Boston, in my hometown.
Yep.
It was a $2 billion contract.
Yep.
In 1989.
Yep. How'd that end up?
When they were finished in 2005, 2006, it was a $14 billion contract.
Yeah.
So, look, you could say it's the contractor. I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of failing to understand why NASA would contract a contractor that has no experience building mobile launchers to build the most complicated mobile launcher ever devised. This thing is objectively way more complicated than Saturn V's or even the shuttle. The shuttle is just a platform. Saturn V is pretty straightforward stuff. You do have differential propellants with that, but you have differential propellants here. But differential propellants doesn't I like saying that phrase a lot.
It's a good one. It's a solid. There's a lot of syllables there.
Right? Doesn't necessarily mean that the launch umbilical tower, for instance, on the ML is going to be more complicated. What makes the SLS mobile launcher more complicated, objectively, is because it's heavy. It's heavy. It needs to. SLS Block 1B is a chunker of a rocket. We're talking, it's got to be over 8 million pounds. It's like 8-9 million, something like that. 8.8 million, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's 4 million tons? No. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to try to do math here. I'm going to make myself look stupid, which I probably already did. Anyway, it's really freaking heavy, way heavier. And that proposes a huge technical challenge. But once again, like, it is complicated. Why are we awarding a contract for a mobile launcher when they have no experience building mobile launchers? Why not why not use the contractor that built the other mobile launcher? The first one. Right. The one on the left side of your screen.
That actually exists and was online in the appropriate time frame. For me, one of the things that irks me the most is NASA doesn't get a lot of money from the government. Like, everyone that if you've had friends, I'm sure we've all had friends that say things like, "Oh, why are we wasting money on space? We should be spending that money elsewhere." It's like NASA's slice of the budget is like, I think, less than 1%. It's like remarkably minuscule.
0.4%.
0.4% of the budget goes to NASA. And if you remember previous flame trenches, where we learned that Viper was being canceled to save a paltry 80 million when the dang thing was already built, and they're going to launch a block of concrete instead to save 80 million. And yet, we have a program like this stupid mobile launcher too that is just sucking up money. But yeah,
here's the thing, Jack. Like, I'm gonna say it once, I'll say it again. Sorry. I gotta get my piece in here, man. I'm sorry. Like, dude. Once again, it's a mobile launcher. It's expensive. It's complicated to make. You have to deal with mass challenges. You have to deal with commodity, like fully cryogenic hydrogen moving around. It's a complicated thing. Anybody who didn't think this was going to cost $1 billion is kind of crazy, or at least 900 mil, right? Now, here's the thing. With that all being said, I don't necessarily believe that, and people are going to call me nuts for this, but just hear me out. I got you.
I'm hearing you.
Just roll with me. I don't think price is the problem here, all right? The reason that the costs are ballooning ridiculously out of control now, and once again, you're off your rocker if you don't think this is going to cost that much. It costs how much you build a suit for every launch pad for everybody, all right? What kills me is in the OIG report, they just said, "Oh, okay, here, have this cost plus contract. No schedule milestones here, nothing. No interim, no, oh, you got the base plate built, or oh, you got the umbilical arms built, or oh, you got the tower built. No scheduling milestones here when the contract was first awarded, and a deadline at the very end. That is inviting bloat.
Right.
That is inviting a contractor to milk NASA for every dollar because there's absolutely no accountability, as they should. That's up to NASA to hold their contractors accountable. That's really up to them, right? But to sit here and insinuate that it's not going to cost 900 million, or maybe even $1 billion is kind of ridiculous. I understand the whole thing with Viper, and that is annoying. It's terrible, right?
Yeah.
But it's always going to carry a heavy price tag. But because of that terrible scheduling milestone, I mean, guys, this is just the OIG report. This is what they said, right? Because of that terrible scheduling milestones, right? Because it was so bad, the costs are ballooning exponentially, right?
Yeah.
Just completely exponentially.
All right, well...
it's terrible. Anyway, Starliner undocking. I got my piece.
If I can make one quick comparison, you've got the price plus of that, and then you had Starliner, which had the fixed contract. So all of the issues that have been going on since they went through all of their NASA money has been out of their own pocket. So OFT2, all out of their pocket. In terms of any changes that they'll probably need to make after this, that's all out of their pocket. So we'll have to see how the undocking goes, which the official separation time is expected to be 4 minutes after the top of the hour.
So about 5 minutes from now, you can see a live feed there from NASA, from the ISS. There's Starliner, and we are getting very close to its undocking. Now, Starliner, we all know there were some issues. Butch and Sunny are staying on the station for... what is it? They're going to come back in spring of 2025? February of 2025. And you know what? That's okay. That's why we have similar redundancy, right, EJ? That's why crews train. I mean, it's definitely a challenge for their families, I'm sure, and it's a challenge for the astronauts too, but they're professionals. So we're not quite worried about that. What we want to know at this point is what is going to happen with Starliner. So they've simplified the undocking. There was going to be a sort of a longer procedure, right, as part of the undocking if it had undocked crewed. But instead, in order to minimize risks to the ISS, in case there's like thruster failures or what have you, it's kind of just going to undock and get out of Dodge, right? And then tonight, it is going to re-enter and land at the White Sands missile range or space harbor. I'm not sure which is the correct term there. I think space harbor. But yeah, so hopefully we see Starliner successfully undock, successfully back away from the space station here, and tonight, hopefully we see a successful landing at white sands. But we have
Mhm.
a lot of questions. I mean, we have a lot of questions about Starliner, understandably so, as we get like 3 minutes away now from undocking. But here's one that's I'm sure a lot of people want to know from Patrick: is Starliner going to blow up on reentry? I don't think so. No,
No.
I really don't
No.
think so.
I don't think that
Mm.
would be the issue. The concern has always
Our undock
been,
status.
especially in this case with the thrusters, firing that's part of even the undocking process.
Go
They're
ahead.
doing it in a way.
Oh, hang on, let's
ISS
listen
and
in.
Starliner flight control teams remain go for an on-time undock at 22:04. Please perform 1.106 cruise CST 100 approach and departure monitoring steps 2.2 and 2.3. Verbally call Houston when physical step is confirmed. Be advised that NDS hook motors are driving. Space-to-space comm may be ready.
All right, so we're on track. It was 22:05.
Ready for undock monitoring.
4 past the hour, Jack.
Cool.
I think it'll be fine,
Thank you,
guys.
Rob.
Honestly.
In between the
Yeah,
crew.
and they'll be using lighter thrust
Yeah.
pulses.
Yeah. So to me, I'm not worried about actual entry and landing. My concern is what happens between undocking and entry, because if there are some issues with the thrusters, if they encounter some of that same like excess heating, then that's going to need to be looked at before they fly Starliner again. So I'm not concerned about any sort of major issue happening. I'm just concerned that we get this thing back on the ground and Boeing teams can successfully tear it apart and figure out what's going on. And I hope that there's not any additional funnies, as they say in the aerospace industry. We wanted to just get home fine, and not add more issues to the pile that need to be sort of looked at and diagnosed. So fingers crossed that's what happens here in just about a minute. Let's.
Yep.
Well, as much as they can tear apart of the whole part where the dog houses are and things, not returning home, that is set to be destroyed as planned.
Got it, because that's part of the service module.
Exactly.
Stand by. We're going to try and listen in. Flight director just asked for quiet in the room. I don't want to talk over anything here, so...
Umbilicals are retracting. The hooks should be opening now.
Yep. You can see the docking flange on the front of Starliner there. The NDS, guys, has 12 driving hooks. They're undone in groups of 6, so 2 groups. And once it undrives the hooks, Starliner is basically backs off a little bit, and then it'll fully separate here in a moment.
Yeah, if my clock's right, we're like 5 seconds away.
All right. There we go.
Undock.
Godspeed, Starliner. Go, Calypso.
Separation confirmed. Starliner is now backing away from station and starting its return to Earth. Starliner's thrusters will then complete 2 short firings to gradually increase the separation speed to help the spacecraft carefully move away from the orbiting lab.
Looks like a clean undock. You can see the drive hooks right there in center.
Away from the International Space Station. At the time of undocking, Starliner and the International Space Station were flying approximately 260 statute miles over central China.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah. As planned, the soft capture system on the IDSS and Starliner did, once they separated the soft capture system, it did give some force to Starliner to push it back. The thrusters on Starliner have not fired, guys. There's springs. The docking port is spring loaded on the soft capture mechanism. So once those drive hooks come undone, they can unlatch the soft capture, and the springs will push the thing away.
Yeah, up next will be the breakout burn.
Yep.
We'll keep an eye on the thrusters that does that. Oh, there they are.
Wow. What a beautiful shot. I'm just going to be a broken record here, but this is a spacecraft. This is a beautiful machine. Issues though it has. What a cool shot.
It's not a bad capsule, man. It's not a bad capsule. It really isn't.
Yeah. I hope no one ever
everything else
thought that I thought it was bad.
Oh, there we go. Bernie thrusters are
Yep.
on.
Yeah, you can see them. You can see them firing. They're
They
on the
are
left
pulsing.
side.
This Starliner's performing the breakout burn here. This breakout burn will put it on a trajectory where it will use differential eccentricity in its orbit to basically avoid the ISS using the minimal amount of thrust. These impulses here are 10 centimeters a second impulses. There should be 12 of
Confirmation,
them.
all 27 jets have fired.
ISS thrusters and
Beautiful.
Oh, baby.
You're seeing the light show there on your screen.
Beautiful.
It looks like it picked up a slight roll rate. Thrusters are pulsing to capture that. There was a slight roll that was induced from that first impulse.
Yeah,
Great view.
That's a really good call out that we heard, that all 27 thrusters had fired. That's good. That's what we want to hear.
27 out of 28, Jack, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they
'cause
shut down one early
they-
on in the mission.
Right, they locked
Yep.
that one out, yeah. And they're just trying to get it away from the space station, make sure that if there is any issue, which so far seems like everything's going great, just want to underscore that, but make sure if there is any issue, like you're saying, EJ, it safely avoids the ISS.
Yeah, the original plan with crew on board was going to be back it up slowly, and then just like Dragon did with its certification, fly around the ISS as proof that it can do so, get some imagery, and then the crew would be able to exit the keep out sphere. In this case, they are literally just backing it out and getting it out as quick as they can, with the goal of getting it out of the keep out sphere in under 30 minutes.
Alex on our back channel saying permission control, good attitude and good control. That's exactly what we want to hear, you guys. That is fantastic.
It looked like when it first went to fire a lot of the thrusters that it encountered a slight yaw component, slight yaw rate, but the system did compensate. Steve Stitch did talk about that in previous press conferences, talking about changing the control systems to change your what's called PWM, pulse width modulation. So basically how much they turn the thrusters on and off to correct stuff.
Next burn
To
coming up in
correct.
about 5 seconds.
Yep.
There we go. From just visual, it looks like a good burn. And sounds like confirmation from Mission Control, good fifth burn. Starliner on its way out.
Excellent.
Six
Right,
out of
and we're
12.
about halfway through all of them now at this point.
Yep. Once again, these are 10 centimeters a second pulse, 10 centimeters a second delta V pulses here. There's 12 of them. This is designed to minimize the duty cycle on the thrusters to make sure they don't encounter the overheating and thrust degradation that was occurring on the uphill ride.
Yeah, that they realized that if you applied too much thrust and force on it, then it could cause a leak in some of the seals around it. So that is why they're doing this super nice and slow, as they've just completed burns 7 and 8.
Yep.
4 more to go.
There's another set.
That was 9.
10.
Beautiful backdrop here in the sky. That looks like 11 happening there.
Yep.
So far, the first 10 burns have been confirmed to have gone well.
Looks like there was the last one there.
All right, let's hopefully get that confirmation from Mission Control that all of them were good burns.
Yep.
To
Seems like
go,
they
but
were.
they have confirmed that Starliner has crossed the Keep Out Sphere, or the KOS, which is an imaginary 200-meter sphere centered on the International Space Station that helps flight controllers here on the ground monitor the arrival and departure of visiting vehicles.
Station Houston, Space to Ground 2, Starliner has exited the Keep Out Sphere.
Yeah, baby. Huge deal. I'm clapping. I don't know why I'm clapping in a room alone, but good. That's a big deal.
They wanted to get out of that ASAP.
Yep.
And yeah, because normally you wouldn't hear that for like another hour or so as they perform tasks and tests, especially with this being a test flight. That got out of there.
A reminder, this automated breakout sequence was chosen to use Starliner's forward thrusters, which have remained nominal during this flight.
And we heard confirmation that all 12 burns in this series of breakout burn firings have completed, and they were all good burns. Starliner has crossed the keep out sphere. So the next milestone for Starliner's departure will be crossing the approach ellipsoid, or AE. The AE is another invisible shape monitored by the flight control team, measuring 4 kilometers by 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. Starliner is scheduled to cross the approach ellipsoid in about 10 minutes. Vehicles outside the AE have to be on what we call a 24-hour safe free drift trajectory, which means the spacecraft would not cross into the approach ellipsoid for at least 24 hours, even if it lost all maneuvering capabilities. Once outside the approach ellipsoid, joint operations between Starliner Mission Control and the International Space Station Flight Control Room will conclude, and Starliner will be on a path back to Earth.
Yeah, with crew on board, that's when they would be on the station to ground communications loop still. That way they could communicate with the ISS and with ground teams all on one loop. As soon as they exit that, then they disconnect from it and usually just go space to ground.
Just another thing real quick. That 24-hour collision thing is something that would happen on every undocking from the ISS with crewed vessels. They've just adjusted Starliner's timeline here so they don't stress the thrusters out, to do it a lot faster than what they usually do. Sorry, you touched a little bit on that a second ago. Oh, exactly. There's a great live shot of the Vesta. Vesta is a relative navigation system on Starliner that uses trained photography so for the computers to sense what Starliner is docking to. It is a visual relative navigation system, which is it's actually a pretty awesome piece of equipment. It's trained on pictures and it knows what to look for with the International Space Station there. You can see it's approximating that image and Starliner's figuring out, the computers, without anybody telling it anything. It's figuring out where the station is relative to the capsule. Think about it similar to like if you were playing Kerbal Space Program and you were looking out the window to see where you are relative to where your spacecraft is. Starliner is doing that, but with cameras.
And there's that invisible keep out sphere you can see there. And continuing to back away, as mentioned, next up is getting out of that final ellipsoid.
Yep. Once again, Starliner, it might be pointing at the space station here, but it is it did an impulse burn that basically put it in reverse, which is the posigrade trajectory of the ISS, or the V-bar plus V-bar trajectory for the ISS. What that means is basically it accelerated away from the ISS. And accelerating on your prograde or your posigrade vector is going to increase your apogee of your orbit. So Starliner is going to fly higher. But also, when it flies higher, it's going to slow down. It's going to maximize a potential energy. And eventually, Earth will try to pull it back in. And that's why it's going up and over the ISS instead of under.
Yep. And also, Fido, Flight Dynamics Officer, saying perfect departure trajectory.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Very good.
I mean, did any of us really expect anything but? I certainly didn't.
It doesn't cross the back of your mind, that's for sure.
Fair.
I'm sure
That's
that
fair.
a lot of people are holding their breath as it happens.
Well, and just once again, it really bears repeating that there's so many people that spend so much time working on Starliner, and we know they're doing their best. And, you know, there's all the memes and stuff that float around, and there's, of course, the harshness that can exist on the internet. But the fact of the matter is NASA has taken some risks before that they very arguably, should absolutely not have. And this is a case where Starliner it had some issues getting to the ISS, but it was pretty dang fine overall. And NASA is just doing this over an abundance of caution because of the lessons that they have had to learn the hard way back in the shuttle era. So I'm really glad to see that everything is going great so far, and we'll continue to right something about a spacecraft being photographed from another spacecraft as it free floats is just so beautiful.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I
No,
just kind of blurted that out.
I was rambling.
I
You're
saw
good.
someone in chat asking earlier, how are they getting that camera view? That is a robotic camera that is mounted. I believe that would be a robotic camera mounted externally, unless that's one of the astronauts hand holding it. But
I doubt
usually
it.
there's a controller on the ground who has a hold position in mission control just to move every single robotic camera on the exterior of the International Space Station.
Yeah, it
That's
looks
all
like
they do for their entire shift.
It looks like a robotic PTZ camera like we use on Starbase Live or Space Coast Live or McGregor Live. Like you can definitely see some hallmarks of that. If it was handheld, I couldn't help but feel like it would be way more shaky.
Yeah, the position's called Kronos.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. These cameras are, if I'm recalling correctly, are on the truss segment.
Got it.
I trust you on that one.
You walked into that one, EJ.
I did. I think it's also important to note here that Starliner is maintaining the same attitude that it was when it undocked from the space station, which isn't normally what you'd see here with this type of over-the-station maneuver. When you do an over-station maneuver, usually the docking port is facing towards the ISS. That's what Dragons have done. But in order to maintain that attitude where Dragon or Starliner rotates around like what Dragon does, right? In order to do that, you got to fire the thrusters to maintain what's called a negative pitch rate. It would require constant what's called station keeping, and NASA's trying to avoid that. NASA and Boeing are trying to avoid that right now because they want to save the thrusters for when Starliner does its entry, descent, and landing, which is why they minimalize the amount of pulses and thrusts that they needed to for undocking here. So there's you don't run into the potential of blowing out a thruster here. Now, Jack, you said a little bit earlier, the capsule, why would you doubt that this thing was going to come back? I mean, Boeing, they figured out that those thrusters, you really can't stress them out too much because they overheat, right? And because of that behavior, and because that behavior was well known and well understood, they were able to basically retool their thermal analytical model on thruster overheating and temperatures inside of the doghouse, and they came up with this adaptive trajectory to take that into account. You're not, if the capsule has a problem, it comes up, and then you're going to bring it home with no people on it. You're not just going to keep it the same way because something's going to happen. Usually you don't change stuff around like that for a mission, but we're already the mission plan. The original mission plan is kind of out the door at this point, considering the people that came up on that thing are still on the ISS right now. Butch and Sonny are still there, so they were able to make changes. They were able to make changes to the vehicle to minimize thrust degradation from overheating inside of the doghouse.
Right.
You see this avoidance maneuver right now, demonstrating that exact thing.
Yeah, I guess the point that I was driving at there was the undocking concerned me personally less than the deorbit burn. Like to me, the moment in all of this that has the most, for lack of a better term, pucker factor would be would be the deorbit burn, because that is a longer sort of sustained burn that needs to go well, and you can't do it over. I mean, obviously, undocking needs to go well. You can't do it over, but you get my meaning, right? Like that is sort of where the real intense moments are going to happen.
This is a relatively low risk maneuver here.
Kevin in our back channel saying 6 minutes away from approach ellipsoid exit, 950 meters from the ISS.
Already a kilometer away.
What's a kilometer?
A lot of bananas.
Oh, good deal. Good job, Starliner.
Yeah. And it is true. I've seen in the back channel, obviously the docking tends to be more eventful than the undocking. You've got a lot more smaller burns as opposed to, in this case, 12 medium ones to back away, and it's a lot less precise in that sense. It's more of just get out of the keep out zone, then get out of the ellipsoid, and make sure your spacecraft is in a way that it can't re-enter the ellipsoid within 24 hours.
Right.
So
Really,
it's a
really
little
quick.
tricky, but
I see. I'm looking at chat. I'm always looking at chat. I see Drifter asking why no stars. It's a camera thing. Cameras can only see so much range. It's called dynamic range. And it's like last night I was photographing Ship 31 as they rolled it out. I couldn't expose Ship 31 with my camera well, while also exposing the Star Factory well. If I wanted to expose for the Star Factory because it's so bright, you don't even see Ship 31 because it's so dim. And it's the same kind of deal. Starliner is in the sunlight right now. You have to really like knock down your exposure so it's not just a glowing white blob and overexposed. And that means that the very dim, by comparison, starlight just shows up as a black background. I mean, know that's a question a lot of people have. It's a camera thing. If you're not a photographer,
seeing the rotation here in the animation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it goes. Thank you, Sawyer.
There's also there's a rate component here on the vehicle. I'm not sure if that's supposed to do that, guys.
I'm wondering the same thing, honestly.
So on the right-hand side of your screen, there are some numbers written out, but they're all reading 0. Boeing last time when they showed Starliner docking, they did show the rates here. And the rates show you if your spacecraft is pitching, yawing, or rolling. And those are telemetry-driven animations that they have on the screen, but the readout is 0. So I'm not sure what those particular numbers were for.
Huh.
Right. This could be them just turning around and away from the ISS, but this was not noted anywhere in the backing out procedure.
Yeah, we'll see what they say. Also, do we know when what point in the sequence does the nose cone or the hatch cover close? Do we know when that's supposed to happen?
I believe it's similar to Dragon, where there's a lot of other things inside the nose cone.
Starliner is out of the approach ellipsoid.
Good.
The approach ellipsoid is a imaginary 3-dimensional ellipsoid around the space station, and vehicles outside of the approach ellipsoid have to be on what we call a 24-hour safe free drift trajectory, which means the spacecraft would not cross into the approach ellipsoid for at least 24 hours, even if it lost all maneuvering capabilities. Now that Starliner is outside of the approach ellipsoid, joint operations between the Starliner Mission Control and International Space Station Flight Control Room will conclude, and Starliner is now on a path back to Earth. So once again, Starliner undocked from the International Space Station at 5:04 p.m. Central, 6:04 p.m. Eastern, as the space station was flying 260 statute miles over central China. Shortly
after. Yeah, that's good news. But as I was mentioning, I'm guessing, because obviously there's like the laser and that camera that EJ was talking about that is used to measure distance as it's docking and undocking. I'm sure there's other communications things inside of that nose cone area that they keep open until just before re-entry. Just as with SpaceX's Dragon capsule, same thing. They have a whole bunch of other technology in that nose that they keep open until basically the last possible moment.
We have a question here from Max Spezial AG. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering that. They're asking, was there also thruster overheating issues on the uncrewed demo mission?
Yes. Yes, there was. But it's important to understand, like, when I first heard that, Max, I was not pleased with that. But you got to understand that that thruster blowout was happening on a completely different phase of the mission. They did encounter thrust degradation during the entry, descent, and landing burn, so the deorbit burn for Starliner on OFT-2. They did encounter thrust degradation and did blow out a thruster there. But that was at a completely different point. The control and maneuvering sequences to get Starliner during OFT-2 to the ISS up.
Calypso has exited the approach ellipsoid. Sunny, we are ready for RWS teardown when you are.
Okay, she's on her way home. Congratulations to the undock team, and we'll be tearing down the RWS.
Copies, thanks.
So,
spacecraft communicators We're here in the station flight control room talking to Sonny Williams, International Space Station. The Starliner is perfect trajectory, moving well away from the International Space Station. It's deorbit burn at 10:17 and 13 seconds p.m. this evening. Once again, that'll be a 59-second burn of the 4 orbital maneuvering and attitude control system jets on the Starliner spacecraft to slow Starliner down by 129.9 meters per second, allowing it to drop out of orbit to begin its descent back into the Earth's atmosphere, and a landing just about midnight Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Central Time, give or take a few seconds, at the White Sands Space Harbor in New Mexico.
Good deal.
Always reassuring to hear Rob Navius's voice just saying.
Yeah, and if you were
He's the
wondering
best, man.
what Sonny was talking about, they're going to tear down the RWS. That's a robotic work station, I believe.
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah.
I see a lot of.
Go ahead.
I see a lot of people asking about, so how are they blowing out a thruster? Where's the heat coming from? Well, the heat is coming from the combustion. Starliner, like every other capsule, uses a hypergolic, back-pressurized thruster system. So what does that mean? You have helium, and helium is being used as a pressurant to squeeze fuel and oxidizer, in this case nitrogen tetroxide and monomethyl hydrazine, into a combustion chamber, a little tiny rocket engine. It's using pressure, like an aerosol can, to feed these propellants in. Now, the little thrusters that are on Starliner, they're the reaction control systems is what they're called. Those thrusters don't have a cooling system on board. The cooling system is not going to rely on, I mean, they do have a cooling system. It's a passive cooling system, though. It's not like taking cryogenic propellants and moving them through a rocket engine like what a Raptor or a shuttle engine would do, right? These engines are made, they basically have no cryogenic propellant, so they can't use that. So what are our three methods of thermal transfer here? We have conduction, which is what a cryogenic motor would use. The propellant touching the nozzle is going to take away the heat, right? Can't use that. Don't have cryogenic propellants. Then there's convection. Convection is basically using the air around you to get the heat away. Can't do that, no air. You have to use radiation. So these motors are made out of metals that glow. When they glow, they radiate heat out on the infrared spectrum. That's what keeps these thrusters cool. But if they overheat, if the amount of heat you're introducing into the thruster is more than the thruster can passively shut off, well, now you're going to get into conduction. And now the heat is going to spread to the plumbing. That's not good. That's what's happening. We don't want that. Specifically, it's to a poppet seal. The O-rings that are going to seal up, the O-rings that are sealing up the injectors on the thruster. But anyway, I digress. All right, I saw a couple people ask.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Also, you say poppet, and I just want to be like, hello, poppet. I don't know why. It's in my brain. It's a bad brain. I have a bad.
Mine would pop it, twist it, pull it.
Oh my
God, Sawyer. Oh my God.
Jack, see what I had to deal with here?
Jax doesn't get a groan, but mine does. Really?
Wait. What do you call a magazine whose topic is greetings?
Go ahead.
What?
Hydrazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Ninja Decimator says convection cooks bacon for Jack. That's right.
Ooh. So yeah, I think
anyway.
I think NASA is going to be wrapping up their coverage of the undocking, but do not fret. We here at NSF are going to go live for the landing. I'm going to spam in chat a link to the landing stream. It's already there on YouTube. There's the link. So later on tonight, about 5 hours from now, we will be live for the landing. So do not fret. We will continue on here with the flame trench as normal, but we will have continued coverage of Starliner later on today as things start to, dare I say, heat up.
Oh. So technically, would that then make this the plasma trench?
Hey, the plasma trail. Ooh, I like it. I actually kind of like it. Maybe that's the that's what we should call the
spin-off.
post show. That's what we should call the post show of the flame trench, is the plasma trail.
I like that, actually.
I do kind of like that.
Make it so. Any other questions?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of questions.
It's a bunch, man. Yeah.
Andy Skibba is asking, what's the percentage likelihood Starliner doesn't make it through re-entry? I mean, low. Super low.
It's very low.
Andy,
I mean, it's a good question. And I know it's a question that's on everybody's mind, right?
It is.
Like, but you got to think about it like this. If there was any risk for Starliner, either A, encountering a failure mode during re-entry, or B, re-entering uncontrollable, so a ballistic re-entry, NASA wouldn't have separated it from the space station.
Right.
That's the truth. They wouldn't have done it. Steve Stitch in the press conferences, if you've been following the NASA press conferences, he's been very adamant about that. They're not going to put the capsule in a scenario where it sets itself up to fail. I mean, it kind of did that on its own. sorry, a little spicy. It is flame trench. It is flame trench.
You're
but
good.
Icy.
Yeah, they wouldn't separate that capsule unless they were 95% sure. But see, here's the flip side of that. You know, I know what the next question is. The next question is, well, why don't? Okay, if they're 95% sure, why don't they just put people on it and send it, right? 95% sure doesn't get you home in spaceflight.
Right.
They were 95% sure that Challenger was going to work. They were 95% sure that STS-107 was going to come home. That doesn't mean anything. You have to be absolutely 100% sure.
Yeah,
conclusions have to be data-driven. They have to be driven by facts. If they're not, you're opening up the door for failure.
I keep going back to, I think Das pointed it out first. It was a comment from Garrett Reisman. And he's like, he was asked on a news show, you know, would you ride Starliner back or something along those lines? And he basically said, yeah, I would, but if I had to, but we don't have to. And, you know, if we don't have to bet our lives on it, then no. So there you go. I mean,
I think it was...
I'm butchering.
Would I bet that it would return home? Yes. But would I bet it with my life? No.
There you go. Thank you. I butchered it completely.
No, Butch is still on the ISS.
Oh my God, Sawyer. Oh my God. Let's see. Let's do some more questions. A lot of who want to know about cooking bacon on the solar panels of the ISS. I have no idea.
The bacon would get well done extremely fast, guys. There's no way to convect the heat. You'd incinerate it very quickly.
Don't incinerate the bacon.
If you don't want well done bacon.
If you watch the bacon cooking live stream with D and I, you know that it's bad to incinerate bacon because D did a lot of that.
Then just freeze it, right? 45 minutes later, it'll be frozen.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do want to hit some support because we're like 70 minutes behind, and everyone was being extremely generous. Well,
Lightning round, Jack, go.
All right, here we go. Booster 1058 Cashew Crew, thank you for the super chat. Steve Ailing, thank you for the super chat. They say happy undock, launch, or just chat day. Ali Demercy with 50 more Red Team memberships. Ali, you are a madman. Like, thank you. What the heck? Matthias with a super chat. They say Ali for the win. I think we could all agree Ali for the win. Ali Demercy with 50 more. What the actual heck?
Gosh.
Dude, it doesn't stop.
It doesn't.
It doesn't stop.
It keeps going. Jim Cavett, thank you. Telstar86, thank you. Kevin Harrington, thank you so much for the super chat. Edward, thank you so much for gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Patrol with another $100. Patrol, y'all,
unbelievable.
You know, there's no words. That's so much money. It's so much support, and it really means the world to us because we can keep doing what we do and bringing everybody spaceflight coverage in the proper context, with the proper levels of excitement, with the proper information, and not just boil things down to the lowest common denominator headlines like, oh, astronauts stranded in space, things like that. Lysigo, thank you so much for becoming a Padrat member. Devin, gifting 20 Red Team memberships. Devin Waldron, I don't know that I've seen your name pop up before, so thank you so much if that was the first time you've gifted memberships. It's extremely generous of you. Ali Demercy, again, with $147 super chat. Ali, I don't know what we did right today to deserve this coverage or this support from you, but rest assured we'll continue our coverage.
Jake is saying thank you, by the way.
Yay. Patrol with another $100. They say, Ali wins. I can't match that. Mats Gosalar with a 50 Red Team membership gift. Booster 1058 gifting 5. Snot Garden gifting 5. Ali Demercy gifting 50 more. Like, how do I even... I feel bad for speedrunning these, but we're so far behind. I want to make sure everybody gets thanked. Telstar86, thank you for the support. Steve Ailing, thank you for the super chat. Ali Demercy with 50 more. It doesn't stop.
How many?
Somebody please count, because I have lost count at this point.
It's like 350, dude.
Like several batches of 50 ago, we were already at 300, I thought. So I feel like we're close to around 500 at this point, which is insane.
Yeah, Ali's a pretty cool guy. He's a pretty cool guy.
Legit.
He doesn't afraid of anything.
Mark W., thank you for becoming a Padret member. Plated Tech, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. You have access to Discord now. Pop into Discord and say, hey, Mats, again with 50 more. Deborah Jean, thank you for the super. Musical Wolves, thank you for the super chat. David Goss, thank you for becoming a Padret member. Deborah Jean, again. They say, Sawyer, great to see you live again. I think we can all agree with that. Wascally Wabbit, there, you got me to say it on air. To bring Sawyer back from orbit when he's ready with a $10 super. Thank you. Space Pope.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Space Pope, upgrading to Launch Director. Thank you so much, Space Pope. One of the higher levels of support for us. You get all the perks. So I think you're already in Discord. I'm not mistaken. You're already in Discord. But yeah, thank you. Chris Reed, thank you for becoming a Padret member. Anonymous, get a store purchase. It is Ninja Decimator buying a bunch of stuff from the store. They got the Raptor t-shirt and the Super Heavy Swim Club t-shirt. If you don't know, thank you, Ninja Decimator, for pointing this out for us. We do have a new merch collection that's like amazing. It's really cool. You can get it in color or not, and you can choose your engine of choice. We've got BE4, we've got RS-25, we've got Merlin, and of course, we've got Raptor. These shirts are amazing. They look great. They feel great. Highly recommend. Pauline absolutely killed it on these designs, as she always does, as is tradition. So Ninja Decimator, thank you so much for getting some stuff from the store there and allowing us a nice little segue to point out our sweet new merch. Just another way you can support us, and you get something cool in return, which is really nifty. Gareth Cole, thank you for the super. Devin Waldron, thank you for the super. Frank, getting some stuff from the store. Looks like, oh wow, Frank got a whole bunch. Frank got the BE4 shirt, the RS-25 shirt, the Merlin shirt, and the Raptor shirt. Frank got the whole collection plus L2 Lifetime. Frank, thank you. That is truly
make sure
outstanding.
you included
Frankie.
your actual username in the forum there. And L2, by the way, in case people don't know, Jake, you can attest to this, right, buddy? That L2 is a fantastic resource to get all kinds of photos, some that haven't ever seen the light of day, some that have been helped to be archived. There's amazing conversations that go on, so many cool videos, documents that you couldn't believe. So thank you for joining L2 as well. And now you can become an L2 member through the shop.
Is there a Jake thread on L2? Because there should be.
Agreed.
I would imagine. I don't know. Sign up for L2 and find out.
Nice. Good job, Sawyer. A couple more of these, because we actually made some good progress getting through the queue here. David Lane, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you. Frank Camp becoming a Red Team member. Matthias with a super chat there. Musical Wolves with a super chat there. Musical Wolves is asking, will Starliner get inspected more closely than last time when it returns? I think it's safe to say
process review is in order. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
yes.
That is a safe assessment.
Yeah.
Stefan Batiste, thank you for the support and the kind words. Watching since SN4. Echo Deal, thank you for the $10 super. Michael, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. There's the support on this Flame Trench. Like, what did we do? What happened? What made today different? Like, thank you guys so much.
And that was before Jake came on.
How do you even appropriately express your gratitude to everybody for this? I guess we do it by continuing to do what we do best, and that is bringing y'all the very best spaceflight coverage that we possibly can. I mean, it's such a fun job. Thank you guys so much for the support. It's so cool that we get to do this and operate as sort of the unofficial hype train for modern spaceflight. Should we jump over to old Starbase and talk about what's going on here a little bit?
Did you
Yeah,
clear the queue?
before we do, we should probably mention before we leave the ISS stuff that all of these ISS photos and everything were taken by Matthew Dominic aboard the station.
Thank you. I forgot to mention that. All of the photos that are behind us were shot by astronaut Matthew Dominic. They're absolutely phenomenal. And I have in the past lamented very publicly that we send astronauts to space and we train them to be photographers. And I, as a photographer, because I'm biased, always lament that and say we should send more photographers to space and train them to be astronauts, because there's a difference there, in my humble opinion. But Matthew Dominic proving me wrong, at least in this case. Absolutely fantastic photography, absolutely outstanding work. There's been crazy time lapses coming from him. There's been crazy imagery coming from him. Like, he clearly knows what he's doing. And I've seen like Snap, a friend of the show, John Krause on X, shooting him some pointers, and some other photographers shooting him some pointers, and he's just very active and chit-chatting, and it's amazing. So if you do not follow Matthew Dominic, you are doing yourself a grave disservice, because absolutely just mind-boggling work coming from him. So once again, thank you, Sawyer, because I derped and did not remember to say that. So yeah, there's his Twitter. You can follow him on there. There's an asteroid that enters and explodes in this time lapse right there. It's a bolide. It's a bolide meteor, not asteroid. Sorry, meteor. Holy cow! Like, what a catch! So yeah, make sure you follow Matthew on the old socials there, because he's putting out some absolutely insane imagery.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain. I can't believe you just did that.
It's kind of out of this world.
Wow.
Ah,
you too.
Token forgot.
Oh, what?
Wow. Oh man. Okay. So do we talk Starbase?
It's ridiculous. We can talk Starbase. Fine.
I think we should.
Fine. Whatever.
In other news, this week in Starbase, we have seen a couple things happen. For one, old venerable Starhopper has been moved. If you take a look at the old launch site, you might notice it looks a little bit different, which is honestly, as someone who's out here like every day and taking photos, now that there's been a change in the Starbase skyline and they've moved Starhopper, I'm kind of floored. Like, there's so many new angles. There's like so many new things to photograph. Starhopper itself has been rotated, so you can see all of the crazy scarring that it has from all of the launches that it was proximate to. It's like the metal skin on one side. It kind of looks like it's got like Edward James Olmos face. Like, it's crazy. And yeah, so Starhopper was moved, and thankfully not moved far. They moved it across the street into Danger Lot. If you're familiar with good old Danger Lot, that is where our van was. If you remember on Flight 1, when the van got impaled by some high-speed concrete, that is where we had cameras for all of the low-altitude hop tests. That is where we put cameras as members of the media for Starship flight tests. And I'm sort of wondering how that's going to work with Starhopper there now. But either way, there was a lot of talk before the move about Starhopper getting moved over to like the office building, or being scrapped or what have you. I don't think they're going to scrap it, thank goodness. Knock on wood. I hope I'm not jinxing anything. Doesn't seem like they're going to scrap it. I don't know if it's going to stay there at Danger Lot, but I sure hope it does, because at least right now there's no fence, and you can just see Starhopper in all its glory as a gate guardian standing right there across from the gate, right there across from the SpaceX sign. It's really cool. I'm really this was a really special experience. And when they did move it, if you watched our live stream, I was like right there. Like, that's the closest to Starhopper I've ever been. I could have literally reached my hand out and touched the leg, but of course I'm not going to do that. But I could have.
No touchy.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
touchy.
Yeah, what am I, Mike Pence? Anyways.
Oh.
Whoa.
Anyways. Yeah. So that's one thing that happened this week. That, the thing that's like the image where he's touching the thing that says "Do not." Anyways. So they moved Starhopper. That's a big deal. Hopefully it stays there and we continue to have some awesome views of this venerable vehicle. You can see, yeah, this is the move. I was basically standing right behind this camera, which is wild. I mean, I've been very close to many vehicles rolling around here in Starbase, including last night, Ship 31, which rolled out from the production site to Massey's to be tested there. But for some reason, this move hit a little different. I mean, Starhopper has been in that position by the gate for, I don't know, I want to say like 5 years. I mean, or maybe like 4.5 years, a long time. And now it's got a new home, at least temporarily, hopefully permanently, over at Danger Lot. So really nifty thing. If you caught that stream, it was a real good time. And if you didn't, you can always go back and watch it on the YouTubes.
Do it.
Yeah,
It looked like while we were watching this stream, I was just watching that night. It almost looked like you could touch it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it was so close.
I was operating this. This is not a robotic camera because we had robotic camera issues. It was a day, and that's the same day my car broke. It was a day, you guys. It's been a week.
I mean, look how close it's
been. That's what I mean. I could have reached out and touched the leg. Like I literally could have touched the leg, but I didn't because I'm a civilized person. But holy cow, it was just really special. It's a special experience to see this icon of Starbase moved right before our eyes. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for Starhopper because I don't think they're going to scrap it. I really don't. I just hope we continue to have good views of it. Because things change here in Starbase.
Those cameras.
Oh man, we've joked about this. If you watch the dailies, we've been doing narrated dailies now. Das has been doing an absolutely great job with the narrated dailies, and he made a joke at the end of the last one about asking SpaceX to let us put cameras on it, and I definitely, it's a joke. It's not going to happen, but it's fun to think about. Like, what if we could put cameras on Starhopper for a launch?
Man.
Because
you know what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. We're doing Wayne Gretzky and Michael Scott once, okay?
Yes.
Right. Hey,
yes.
SpaceX, anybody out there? We'd love if you are so inclined, we'd love to put a camera up there.
Yeah,
we'll sign
whatever waivers you want. Yep. We'll get whatever certifications you want. We'll do all the work. We'll do all the upkeep. I will personally hand deliver ice cream to every single employee
in a kilt.
Yeah, in a kilt. I don't know.
In a kilt. See?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. 100%. That's the one thing that'll get me to do it. So
saying.
Oh God! Don't clip it. Don't clip it. Please don't clip it.
Clip it and ship it right to Elon. Let's go, chat. Somebody here knows him. One of you, maybe you. You, right there. Yeah. See, do it. Make it happen. Come on.
But yeah,
just so you know, Discord has already clipped that.
Of course,
you're done, Jack.
Well, here's the thing: we're not going to get cameras on it. But if we did get cameras on it, I wouldn't even be mad. I would go full kilt mode. I don't even care. Oh God, they're gonna clip that. They're gonna clip that. What? I just should stop talking. I should stop
digging that hole.
I should just stop
digging the hole, just like IFT1.
Remember that poll earlier? Pants, shorts. Kilt is missing from it.
Yeah, Kilt wasn't in there. What the heck? Another thing that happened in Starbase this week was a really interesting sort of all-up GSE test of launch and catch. They did like a BQD close. They swung out the ship QD arm. And they did some really rapid chopstick closes. So very interesting to see them testing out all the modifications we've been seeing them make to the orbital launch tower there at Pad A. I'm super excited. I'm curious if we're going to get more testing with Booster 14.1 and what sort of testing we're going to get from that. But yeah, that's sort of where we're at with the GSE there ahead of Launch 5. Clearly, SpaceX making a whole bunch of modifications to the launch site and getting it ready. Clearly, getting it ready for a catch attempt on Flight 5. So fingers crossed, we get to see Flight 5 soon. And that time lapse was courtesy of Starbase Live, and it was from LSR, who does a lot of really great time lapses. So thanks LSR for that.
Hey
guys,
guys,
great at clipping gifts for this show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
oh, God.
That's right. You are not wrong.
Oh God.
Hey guys, you Jack, you were talking about Das's narration over the dailies, which I think is fantastic. But I just have to ask. I'm just going to ask because we just poll in chat here, not a poll, just on an official EJ poll. Does anybody get LA Noir vibes from Das's narration in the chat? Oh, what's this? Oh, could be some roof girders or something. I'm just putting it out there. I was like, Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
Yes, I love it. I'm never
Did you
going
go
to be
watch?
able to. I'm never going to be
Yeah.
able to unhear it.
Go. If you guys haven't seen these narrated videos, go watch them. You guys tell me. Go click on some of those dailies. They're, first of all, they're super informative, but also play the LA Noir theme over them. You'll be like, what?
Whoa.
Fine, I'll say it.
What?
I'm going to press X to doubt.
Nice. Somebody had to say it. Somebody has to say it.
That's good.
But yeah, if I'm curious. Now now that we're talking about this, the Starbase dailies are sort of a staple of our YouTube channel. It's the first stuff that we started putting out on the YouTube channel way back when. And for the longest time, they've just sort of been ambient audio. And I know there's a lot of people out there that like the ambient audio versions, but we're just trying to change things up and see if we can make the product even better. But here's the thing: in the latest daily, we've started doing an additional little treat on top of all of that. There's the narrated version, but you can go on YouTube and change the audio from commentary mode with DOS, or you can change it to ambient. I think to change it to ambient, you have to select Klingon as the language. I think that's how that works.
No.
No, it's English.
No, it's English.
It's English. It's English. I'm kidding. We should have done Klingon though. I feel like that would have been pretty dang funny. But yeah, so now you can have the best of both worlds. You can have the DOS commentated version, or you can have the ambient version. Just select the appropriate audio option there. And if you have an opinion, if you have thoughts on this change to our long-standing staple of the YouTube channel, let us know in the comments of the latest daily. We're curious. We always want, to please. We aim to please. We want to deliver the very best coverage that we can. Das in the back channel saying it may be Klingon in the future. I mean, I'm here for it. But also, if we have any members, I'm looking at you, Moldy Space, who know Klingon, and you want to do an actual Klingon translation of the DOS narration, I am also very much here for that.
It is a good day to DOS. Day is not over.
Nice.
Also, shout out to Ryan Caden for the Ryan art.
Yes, thank you, Ryan, for the illustrative instruction there on how to select the appropriate audio. But yeah, let us know. This is not in the document. This is like a completely off the rails diatribe. But yeah, I'm just curious what you all think. The dailies are a really important part of the YouTube channel, and we want to make sure that people like what they're getting.
I kind of want smooth jazz over it now after what I said.
Ooh, can we do a smooth jazz version? Can we do a vaporwave version? Can we do a heavy metal version? Okay, we're gonna be killing ourselves.
We're gonna run out of languages.
Yeah, speaking of running out, you can see Ship 31 there running out of Mega Bay 2 and heading up Highway 4 last night at midnight. It took about 2.5, 3 hours for him to do the 5.6 or so miles to the Massey outpost. And yeah, Ship 31 is going to be tested there and then brought back to the launch site brought back to the production site for more work. So definitely stay tuned to Starbase Live. After this show, one of the things on my list, I don't know if I'll get to it tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, is to move one of our deployable cameras so we have a really good view of Ship 31 while it's at Massey's, and so we can keep track of everything that's going on there. But yeah, that's Ship 31. We talked about the GSE test. We talked about Starhopper being relocated. Yeah, so I think this is the part of the show, of course, where we have to ask, when hop? Based on everything we're seeing so far with engines. Based on everything we're seeing so far with
this is not safe for work, man.
Yeah, right.
Whoa.
And it's the emoji with like the little hot, and it's like got its tongue out and it's got like the little sweat thing. Yeah, that one. When do we think they're gonna fly? I mean, there's a lot of work going on still at the launch site, but we did see that interesting test yesterday of the tower. Also, side note, Sawyer, I like how you have at this point basically become half cat.
What else am I gonna do, right? I mean, I'm not gonna disturb the cat. We all know that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that. But yeah,
So
what do you
apologies
think?
for the disruption to the green screen because of it, but yeah.
No worries. What do you think, Sawyer, in terms of Flight 5? What is your expectation at this point for when we might see that happen?
I mean, we're seeing some pretty good testing now, at least. So, I think sooner than later, but I'm still going with early October for my guess. I'm gonna go with, I'll go with my dad's birthday, October 11th.
All right. Yeah, that's a fair guess. EJ?
I'll say fourth week of September, just because that's probably not going to happen. But why not?
I feel like for past flight tests, we have sort of gotten wind that we're getting close, around a month out, and we're around a month out from the start of October, and I haven't been hearing anything. Seems like there's some more work left to do, and of course, there's the regulatory side with the FAA. We have no visibility into how that is all going. A license, including a catch attempt, could drop tomorrow for all we know. Well, not tomorrow because it's Saturday. Could drop Monday for all we know, or it could drop sometime in October. I will recalibrate my current guess, and I'd like to stress that all of this is really just guessing. We're reading the tea leaves here, but I'll recalibrate my current guess. Previously, I've been saying second half of September, first half of October, sometime in that sort of month-long time frame, which sort of tracks with what you just both said. But I'm going to amend mine to be second half of October, first half of November. That is currently when I personally am expecting Flight 5. Yeah, man, I
expect you to be the pessimist.
Well, I'm always the pessimist. What are you talking about?
Of the three of us, I should
yeah,
say.
fair. But yeah, that's sort of where we're at with Flight 5. Certainly hope it happens sooner rather than later because we all want to see that catch attempt. It's going to be absolutely insane. But yeah, let's hit some more support because we want to make sure everyone is thanked, and then we can run through some Starship questions to close out the show. I'm not missing any topics, am I? I'm scrolling through the document. We did that.
I'm checking the document.
Yeah, no, we're good. All right, real quick.
Like
Matthias
you said at the beginning, Starliner, and
Starbase.
Starship.
Yeah, there you go. Matthias, thank you for thanking Ali DeMercy with a super chat there. Flawed Perspective, thank you so much for the support. What? I don't understand your message, so I'm going to move on because I got to get through a lot of support. But thank you, Flawed Perspective.
Go, speed run, go.
Jeremiah,
go,
thank
go,
you for becoming a Capcom member. Now you get access to Discord. Pop in Discord and say, hey, the Discord's really cool. Tennessee Tornado, thank you for giving a Red Team membership. Southern Sure Shot, thank you for the support. They want to know if the helium leaks are internal or external. I think they're internal. Kenneth Cannon, thank you for the super chat. Tyler Bell, thank you for the frogs from Rebecca at Starbase. Hi, Rebecca. Tell your brother I said hi, and also your dad. Also, be good because you got.
I think when you speed run, you're actually slower, Jack.
Shut up, Rosanna Vasto. Thank you for the support. They say has our support been full-time jobs for you guys? For some of us, John, thank you for the store message. Ooh, what did they get? They got the BE4 shirt. Nice. They said thanks, guys. Keep up the great work. They also got the NSF hat. Yay! Tyler Bell with more frogs from Rebecca from Starbase. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Edward Dolezal. Unfortunately, I lost my Tank Watcher ball cap. Oh, I'm sorry, but thank you for the super chat. Richard, thank you for grabbing the Raptor hoodie. They say, Rick, a.k.a. Method Man, need something warm to wear. We'll be getting cold soonish, hopefully. Oh, God, it's so hot. David with a store purchase getting the Raptor t-shirt. They say it's a no-brainer. Had to buy the Raptor t-shirt. Go Starliner. Love Jake sitting on Sawyer's head. Yeah, I do love Jake. But yes, also I love the Raptor shirt. It's a quality shirt. Thanks for supporting us by buying some merch. Louis Smith becoming a Padrat member, and Wascally Wabbit with a Jack Kilt Fund because cameras on Hopper would be awesome. There you go. That's the support queue. I feel like I just ran a marathon. But y'all, I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's the absolute truth. We can't do this without you guys. I mean, we would still be doing it. We would probably be slightly destitute. But, we do this stuff because we love it. And the fact that everybody supports us so much and enables us to we have Jake has exited the screen. Jake's like, I'm out. But yeah, we
very quickly, and he was on top of my stomach because I'm laying down recovery from surgery. So
oh god, oh god, I saw the look on your face. It did not look like that was very fun. But yeah, once again, thanks everyone for the support. Let's close out the show. How about with some Starbase questions?
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I'm gonna say I don't want to leave yet.
No, you're good. We're not leaving yet. We have the post show. Don't forget. Or should I say the plasma trail?
Yes.
I still like combustion byproducts.
Oh, I really like that.
No, that's our knockoff.
Yeah, that's our knockoff flame trench.
It's the generic. It's the generic flame trench.
It's the team of flame trench.
John Seller.
What?
Oh God.
Jack Byer, John Seller. Come on.
I got it.
Come on. It was right there.
Oh, I get it. I ain't laughing, but I get it.
You would be J.E. and Sawyer would be
Reyes.
Yeah,
well, first name would have to be Tom, like Tom Sawyer.
Okay, yeah, done. Perfect. Let's do some Starbase questions. Focus. I've had too much Red Bull. Anthony is asking, what ship number do you think the human landing system will be? So just to set the table here, we have seen ship 33, which we believe, well, no, we don't believe, it is the first Block 2 Starship, and that is currently in Mega Bay 2, which you can see there live on screen, but the door is closed because it has a door, so we can't actually see the ship right now. But so there's ship 33. Inside the Star Factory, there are 2 nose cones in processing that we can see from the road. Presumably, that is 34 and 35's nose cone. Both of them, well, no, 34 has flaps or flap attach points already installed. I can't say the same for 35, but all that is to say, I'm going to guess the human landing ship, at least the first one they build to do tests with and whatnot, is going to be on the order of 40s or 50s, and that might be wildly optimistic. I'm not sure. EJ, what do you think the serial number will be for the first HLS ship?
I'm going to Price is Right you and say 39.
You dirty dog.
Yes.
You ragamuffin. You so-and-so.
Come on down. You're the next contestant on When Hop. Dun, dun, dun.
Ship 39, Bob. Ba-da-ba-da. You're going to get
Are you all overbid?
What do you think, Sawyer?
Don't say 1. I swear.
$1, Bob.
No.
Oh.
I am going to set people a little bit and say 68. One more would have been too funny, but I think we're talking in the 60s for sure. So I mean, I think probably closer to 65, but it's funnier to be one away from the funny number.
Yeah, I think that's completely plausible, Sawyer. Good call.
What if it was 42 then?
I mean, it could be 42 would be sick. 42 would be sick. That would be a great one.
I mean, technically, that is the answer.
It is. But what's the question?
Don't forget to bring a towel.
Don't forget to bring a towel. Yeah, I don't know. I thought you were gonna. Anyways, you're a towel.
Have you never read Hitchhiker's?
No, you're a towel.
Yeah, no,
Guys.
I wanted to do tally. I have read Hitchhiker's Guide. You always want to bring a towel, but also don't forget to bring a towel. It's the one you can do voices. It's the one voice I can do.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I had to bring South Park into it.
Well, I think that voice has a lot of integrity there. A lot of integrity in that voice.
Moving right along. Let's see here. Green Ladder says the van is still my favorite video. R.I.P. Danger Van. It still exists. We need to do something cool with it. Twackers is asking, do you think Starhopper will become an Airbnb? No, but that would be really cool. That would be sick. I would absolutely rent that Airbnb.
Is that property zoned residential? Can
No.
you do that?
No. It is very much.
Be.
Well. So if you don't know, Starbase, before it was even Boca Chica Village, that was Copernic Shores, and it was going to be a giant development in like the 50s, and they parceled out a whole bunch of land and they started developing it, and then a huge hurricane came through, like a Category 4 or something, and just roasted, like direct hit, roasted Starbase. And then none of that development got built, and so that's why the only thing there is Boca Chica Village. So, yeah. Unfortunately,
we have a video about that from our live stream that is available on the YouTube channel, narrated by Alicia.
Oh, nice. Unfortunately, it is a lot of that stuff now that it's adjacent or a part of the wildlife preserve. It's all not It's not residential, and it's not. Dawson, our back channel, is saying not zoned outside of incorporated Brownsville. So there you go. Also, there's no plumbing, there's no electricity, unless you're SpaceX. That's why we see them trucking in water. That's why we see them constantly repairing the electrical lines. But yeah, Das saying it's part of a couple different residential subdivisions that were not developed. Yeah, that's a thing.
There you go. The crazy thing is
read
that
the planning documents and things for
right.
the area.
You?
Probably Das.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. No.
Mick Ronald is saying, when turtle pictures? You might have heard that I took a picture of a turtle the other day. I forget what stream it was. Maybe it was a raptor side. Kevin, can we get if I link you the turtle picture, can we get the turtle picture on there?
Down with Crab Gang. Up with link. Turtle Gang.
No.
EJ,
crabs.
Don't.
Crabs beat turtles any day of the week.
Turtles are cooler, man.
Turtles are cool. I like turtles. I'm on record. I like turtles.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
So stupid. But yeah.
Sorry.
In the fight of crab v turtle wins. Here we go. Here's the link. Hang on, Kevin. I'm about to get it to you. This is fantastic television here.
Given that I have turtles in the pond behind where I live, in the lake behind where I live, turtles win. They're really cool.
My guy. All right.
As long as you don't touch them, they're snapping ones by me. But yeah.
I've been out. Yeah, there's the turtle. There's a little guy. Yeah, there you go. There's the turtle. Bingo. Can we get a poll in chat? Turtles versus crabs?
Do it.
Oh my god.
Turtles on a half show. What else we got? Let's see.
There wasn't any Teenage Mutant Ninja Crabs, all right?
All right, that's fair. Okay, you know what? That is fair.
Got you there.
Let's see. Oh, here's an interesting one from Grebo7 UK asking, is the human landing system going to be separate to the ship serial numbers? Will this be HLS-1? That's plausible. I mean, SpaceX naming being what it is, plausible.
If I had to guess, though, those would get names. I mean, if we're talking vehicles that will eventually be for crew, SpaceX names all their crew vehicles.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point, Sawyer. Here's another one. Rankley's asking, when do you think they'll do an actual propellant transfer in orbit between two ships? I'm going to say sometime in the next 2 years. I know that's very broad, but there you go. That's my answer.
Yeah,
what do you think, EJ?
It's got to get done sooner rather than later. Okay, serious time for a second. You got to think about who's the biggest customer for. I was about to say contractor, but who's the biggest customer for HLS or for Starship? It's HLS. It's NASA. So that's driving SpaceX's deadlines here.
I'm sorry. Everybody in chat is yelling that it's a tortoise, not a turtle.
Jack, you bamboozled us.
I'm a fraud. I'm a sham.
You arrogant Jack, you've killed us.
All right, it's a tortoise. Anyways, please continue.
Can someone clip that, please?
I'm a fraud. I'm a sham. No, don't clip. Stop
it.
The guilt's already been clipped. So
do it. Dig that hole, Jack. We're proud of you. Keep it up.
I'm a trash person.
Soon enough, we can use all those lines in AI to get you to say how, I don't know, say hoppy instead.
You know what's terrifying? I bet there are several AIs right now, or like large language models that have been trained on YouTube data, and there's a non-zero chance you could get one to like accurately replicate me monologuing some nonsense. Anyways, EJ, please say smart things. I don't want to be talking anymore. It's all going to get clipped.
Okay, we were talking about the driving deadline. So that propellant transfer is going to happen sooner rather than later. I'd say within a year, maybe a year and a half at best. That's crucial for SpaceX to deliver HLS on time for, well, whenever Artemis 3 is happening. But I would always contend to say that I don't think that the lander is going to be the bottleneck in that architecture, in Artemis's overall architecture. But you got to remember, the only paying customer for Starship right now, and don't get me wrong, there's probably other paying customers that we don't know about yet, right? But I mean, like Polaris 3, for instance, it's a good example. But let's say the biggest customer is NASA with HLS.
Right.
So that's driving their deadlines. Their entire testing regime is based off of getting that lander up. That's why propellant transfer is even a thing right now. That's why catching the booster is even a thing right now. I mean, it seems ridiculous that they're going to go try to catch the booster on the next flight. Like, one landed, right? It splashed down, like did a soft landing in the water. Now you're going to be like, yeah, send it. But they have to. They have to because dude, I'll go on the record. You guys can clip this and ship this. I think they're going to deliver it on time. I really do. If not, it's just going to be a little bit behind schedule. It's not going to be like one of these things that's like, oh yeah, we're going to get it done next year, and then it's going to take like 5. SpaceX.
When is the delivery date due?
Whenever Artemis 3 is supposed to be, so that should be 2026, probably 2027, 2026, somewhere in there.
Well,
I don't think NASA even knows when that's happening.
Artemis 2 is supposed to be what? Is that next year, or has it slipped already?
It's next year. It's supposed to be
Still
a
next
year
for now.
Yeah, December 2025.
So I don't. If that holds, first off, there's Berger's law, which is if there's a space flight thing in December, then you can basically count on it slipping to the next year. Which I think it's a valid statement to make. And then on top of that, so let's say it holds to December. I don't think we see Artemis 3 a year later. Like, it's going to
be. It really depends. I mean, right now I kind of agree with you. Even though I'm a big SLS fan, I like SLS. I like Orion. I think it's decent architecture. We should launch it more, not less. Get the return on investment, but as taxpayers. But yeah, it really depends on how well Artemis 2 goes. But you guys got to remember that there's a huge glaring problem here with the Orion capsule. Their environmental control systems did not pass acceptance testing for Artemis 3, which they passed acceptance testing for Artemis 2, which means there's differential criteria between 2 and 3 for their life support systems, which is a little weird. I'm not smart enough to understand why you would do something like that, but who knows? So right now, like that's what pushed them back into 2025. They have problems with life support systems, which is not. It's kind of weird that it didn't pass. Yeah, not great, Bob. It's kind of weird that it didn't pass acceptance testing for Artemis 3, considering Artemis 3 is the types of missions it was designed for. So, big red flag. There's also the things with the heat shield. You know, the heat shield encountered a failure mode during Artemis 1 that caused chunks of the heat shield to, what are we looking at there? It's windy. That caused chunks of the heat shield to delaminate, and they're still trying to figure out why that happened. I also like the shot of the tower. That's pretty sweet.
Very nice. But yeah, because my thought...
What's up?
I was going to say, my thought with this is that the question is going to become, I think, which is the holdup? The Artemis program or the lander?
I don't think the lander is going to be the holdup, dude. I really don't.
Right. So even still, we're talking about, getting HLS up and running and getting it up soon. We're going to have to figure out not only launching something that's capable of landing on the moon and supporting crew, but also talking about getting it up, getting it refueled, and then refueling it a lot to get it out there, and then working on the rendezvous and docking with all of that. There's so much that still needs to be figured out as a whole. A lot of it mainly, I think, with the Artemis program and designing that, but especially on the SpaceX side, it's proving that in-space refueling, like we were just talking about there, it's super significant if you have any shot of accomplishing landing on the moon, in my opinion, before the end of the decade.
I'm with you on that one, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past it that we're now rushing to pull a JFK here and land on the moon before this decade is out, rather than in the next couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, that does give SpaceX a lot of time, but once again, I don't think that they're going to be the bottleneck. I think they got a lot to prove with this lander contract, and I think that's driving all of their scheduling goals. But yeah.
Yep, I would agree.
I saw somebody asked in chat. Sorry, Jack, real quick. I saw someone ask, tell us why I think that that's a little bit strange. Well, okay, say it's guys, that's a little bit strange because not passing acceptance testing. I mean, that could be a bunch of different things, and I'm not trying to dump on Lockheed here either. Like, not you shouldn't have stuff failing testing when you're this close to operational missions. Like it does happen. You're gonna get curveballs. It happens. All right, it does happen. But something as like a critical component, like life support or topical thrusters. This is not stuff that should be encountering these types of problems. But then again, it's Murphy's Law. You're always going to learn something on a test flight. But I mean, in this case, Orion is seeing problems with life support systems even before the test flight. You're not even passing acceptance testing for the baseline, for the baseline mission for the capsule. Like Artemis 1 and Artemis 2 are tests. Artemis 3 is the test of like the final exam, like the lunar landing. That's what the capsule is designed to do. It's the whole reason that we made the thing. So you could send people out there, get them on a lander, and get them back down there. That's a long duration mission that demands a lot from the capsule. And your life support systems aren't passing acceptance. I don't know why you'd use differential criteria. Why wouldn't you just baseline your capsule for the mission it was designed to do and go from there? Like, why have Artemis 2 have differential criteria for life support? Is it that much of a mass difference with a Block 1 SLS? I doubt it. Like, once again, there's something I just don't understand going on there. Like, and when I say I don't understand, I don't mean rhetorically. Like, I don't understand. This is so stupid. I don't know more than Lockheed. Nobody does, right? They're the people that made Lockheed Martin makes the Orion capsule. We don't know more than them. We really don't. So I'm sure there's a reason. When I say I don't understand, like I don't know the reason why you would do that. I'm sure they have a good reason, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, no, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Booster 1058, thank you. They say we need more Jack speedruns. You got it. JC Davis, thank you for the support. They say $10 super chat. It is. When I go faster, I think I do end up literally going slower. They've been wanting to ask this. Everyone says Starliner will do another several test flights, but the Atlas rockets are all sold out. What will they fly on? First off, I don't know that we've not been saying several test flights. I mean, maybe there'll be another one that's necessitated. Maybe not. We'll see how tonight plays out with its reentry and how the ensuing weeks and months of data review play out. But maybe one, maybe none, depending on how things go. But what will they fly on? Like, what's the future of Starliner's ride to space?
So, you want this one?
Sure. I mean, they've got
you, man.
all of the other contracted Starliner flights that they're set to fly under this current contract are all booked on Atlas V. So if for some reason they needed to do a CFT2 and then they would lose one of the actual rotational flights on Atlas. As of right now, when I talk to some of the Boeing people at the CFT launch, they're considering that they could, crew rate it for Vulcan. As of right now, it is not rated for any other vehicle. Vulcan is not currently crew rated. So essentially, as of right now, there are no other vehicles assigned for Starliner. So if they were to add a flight, as of right now, the only option would be to remove one of the operational flights, therefore not completing their contract, which is a whole nother issue.
Got it.
Yeah, the contract is a la carte. NASA being the kind of the person that wrote the contract and Boeing signed to that contract, NASA can change it. They can change contract stipulations. So that's what I was going to say. I agree with you 100%. I think it really, you're absolutely right. It depends on what happens now, like in 4 hours. It really depends. How good this goes, whether that thrust degradation problem, the poppet seals blowing out, whether that is well understood.
Poppet. Sorry, go ahead.
Blimey. Anyway,
I watched way too much Wild Thornberrys growing up. I'm sorry. Continue.
You sound like you're from London.
It just takes you off screen.
It really depends on what they figure out. If the operational limits of these thrusters are well known, will probably, I know people call me a nutter for saying this over on my Twitch stream, but I think the next one will carry crew. I think NASA, as long as the problem is well understood, it's not about how you feel. That doesn't mean nothing. If they can fix the thruster problem, you got to remember that the rest of this capsule is 100% good to go. Like, have you heard of any other problems happening with this thing other than the thrust degradation problem? Pretty dang good for a first try, if you ask me. I mean, the flip side of that is that if you knew this problem existed on OFT2 and it all of a sudden cropped up at a different point in the mission on CFT1, okay, it's probably a couple of pretty bad decisions based off of how people felt from there. But hey, whatever. We don't have a magnifying glass inside of Boeing, right? Like we can't see what's going on. But if this mission does go well and that problem is well understood, I bet you the next one moves crew. I bet you it will. It'll be a little while, but I bet it will. If this does not go good, Sawyer, I think you're right. I think they will absolutely move. I mean, let's be real here, guys. Like, once again, try to give Boeing the benefit of the doubt here, but it's 2024. The ISS is around for 6 more years. All right. Even if whatever happens, you're still going to be out a year from a flight. So they're going to cram 6 flights into 3 years, or 6 flights into 5 years. Okay, maybe, sure. But it's more likely than not that the last Starliner 6 will push to past the end of life of the ISS. So that gives you a little bit of house money to play with, which is why I think NASA would likely change the contract. But it's all dependent on what happens here from the ending of the CFT1 mission. And you will see that here in another couple of hours.
Yeah, and once again, we will be going live for that landing. So stay tuned to the channel for that. Turn on notifications if you haven't, all that stuff.
Yeah. Worth noting, by the way, that the current plan is to alternate. They're 6-month stints. So it would be Crew Dragon, then Starliner, then Crew Dragon, then Starliner, back and forth, back and forth. Obviously, if something were to happen to Crew Dragon that grounded it, you would be reliant upon Starliner, which then brings in a whole nother scenario. But thankfully, let's hope we don't get to that.
Right. All right, let me wrap up support here. Anonymous, thank you for the store purchase. They say EJ loves canards. Telstar86, thanks for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Kent, thank you for getting the Raptor t-shirt. They say there is no Raptor towel. There should be. Hello, store team.
We have, of course, I Still Lie here, though, right?
That's true. Mark Garrett's, hey, Mark, what's up? Thank you for the super chat. They say turtle wins, but it was a tortoise. And Matthew Alder becoming a Patriot member, and Robert Krzuki? Robert Krzuki? I hope I'm sure I'm butchering that, but thank you for becoming a Patriot member. Also, thank you to our launch directors and our flight engineers. What? Whoa.
It's already playing you off.
Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
I can't even hear anymore. There we go. There we go. Thank you to our launch directors and flight engineers. Those are the 2 highest tiers of our membership program. Y'all are the bedrock foundation upon which we build everything here at NSF. So thank you so much. We so appreciate all of your support. And once again, it goes without saying, it doesn't have to be a monetary thing. If you're in chat, if you're watching the streams, if you're watching our videos, you don't have to worry about supporting us monetarily. Of course, we appreciate it. And of course, we like it because it allows us to do more and cooler things. But that's how this works. It's a giant community thing here, and everybody is pulling the sled up the hill, whether they're doing so monetarily or not. So thank you so much, launch directors. Thank you so much, flight engineers. Thank you so much, Ali Demercy, for the insane number of gifted memberships. Thank you to, Pilot? Was it Pilot that did, I think it was a couple $100? Like, holy cow. I don't recall seeing support like that on a Flame Trench in recent memory.
Not Pilot.
So. What?
It was Patrol, not Pilot.
I knew it was a P word. I mean, come on.
Well, that's 1 out of 6.
All right. You know what? I never said I was good. In fact, I said the exact opposite. I'm pretty sure it's already been clipped. So.
You got it. Yeah, we like you.
Good deal. And yeah, stay tuned. We will have the post show as usual. So yeah, with that said, thank you to Jay for operating today's stream. Sawyer, thank you for being on, good buddy.
Good to be back on camera here. Apologies for the weird angle laying down, but hopefully soon the angle will change. but good to be back on.
Good deal.
Good to have you back, man.
Yeah.
Do I not exist? Jay didn't operate the stream. I operated the stream.
Jay operated the fiber feeds.
At the beginning of the stream, you said something about Jay, and so that was in my brain.
Yeah, fiber feeds.
Yeah, no, you don't exist. Nobody likes you, Kevin. Go away.
Thanks. I don't like you either, Jay.
Oh man, and also EJ, thanks for being on, man.
Thank you for having me. As I know, being on here is a privilege, and I do appreciate it. And we try to have some fun, but yeah, I seriously thank you for watching. Thank you, everybody that popped in and supported the stream today. Really appreciate it.
You did what? You
What?
popped in? Hello, Puppet.
No.
And I'm a big dumb idiot.
Send help.
Thank you all for watching. We will see you nerds next week. Well, also tonight, the Starliner thing. Watch the Starliner thing tonight. We're going live for Starliner.
Yeah.
All right.
Do it. You won't. We done?
All right. Bye, guys.
Do it. Do it. You won't. It's Friday night, man.
Oh, God, the frozen face.
That's awesome.
My computer died.
And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, planet.
Water towers fly!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside SC off. Say again, SC off.
It's orange!
R45! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. What is it? Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting